Well, good evening, good evening, good evening. It is Friday once again, right?
Yes, Fridays keep coming.
Yes, they do. They keep coming.
And they're going by faster and faster and faster and faster.
Right. Yeah. So I thought tonight, while I'm doing my hellos, which is what we typically do, I'm going to put a picture up. And so you know what it's like right now where I am. And you guys can just, enjoy it while I get my hellos in. What do you guys think about that? Let's see. Gizmo was the first one in. Good afternoon to you. And I was just notified we're live. That was quick.
Hey.
That was within 29 seconds.
Yeah, nice.
Farm Ranch Homestead, good evening to you. Banquet of Consequences is in the house. We are staying warm. Hey, there's my buddy. Hey, Education Option TV. I really, really, really want to get him on the channel to talk about education. Super, super, super smart guy. You guys should go check out that channel. Met him when we were down in Florida when I spoke at Jim Gale's event down there. And we were supposed to get together here pretty quick and do one. And so if you're out there, if you're still on there, let me know and we'll get something put together. But good channel. And the greatest name on the internet.
Half Bubble Off Plum.
you just got you trained, huh?
Yes.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Yeah, pretty cool. Let me see here. Nidos is in the house. How are you, my friend? And Squatchy, good evening. The beautiful Louise Wesley is in the house. Yeah, she's experiencing this beautiful weather. I'm talk about them just real quick. They have gone through a lot in moving an entire homestead from one place to the other, and kind of at a bad timing a little bit through the year. Had some breaks not exactly go right, but you know what? They're kicking its ass, and they're making ground every single day. And there's lots of learning lessons there. And so Louise and King, Jeff, Juicy, Hefty, Lefty. So I know Gypsy. Did I forget Gypsy? I know you're out there. I just want you to know I'm proud of you guys. Let me see here. Squatchy says it feels like 10 degrees. Yeah, well, it's 8 degrees right here with a wind chill or a real feel of -14 as we speak. And the world famous Silver Lining is in the house. She says, hello, Freedom Friends. Let's go down here. Starla Dope, good evening to you. One More Rock, how are you? Oh my goodness. I'm getting all kinds of comments on my YouTube channel while I'm sitting here talking to you guys.
Oh, because I just posted a short.
Did you post a short? Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Pat Wiley, hello. Hey, you finally made it live.
Hi.
Yeah, pretty cool. Hey, Pat's a good friend of ours. Also someone who has gone through lots of trial and tribulation and has come out the other side and managed to stay positive through it. And Pat's been part of the community around here for longer than I remember.
A couple of years.
A long, long time, yeah. Vicki Poland, howdy from Texas. I'm going to talk about Texas just a little bit. Okay. Sorry, guys. My emails are just going off.
We're going to talk about Texas a little bit.
We're going to talk about Texas a little bit, yep. And the world famous Terminator is in the house. Good evening to you. Midwest Ribeye, hello, hello. We are staying warm and safe so far. Let's see, get down here. Try to catch up. Carrie Davis. It's freaking cold in Northwest Arkansas. Yeah. Yep. My good buddy Mo Engineer is in the house. He actually sent me a funny cartoon earlier today that I'm going to share if we get to it on the channel tonight, which would be pretty cool. Miley Mason, good evening to you. Jane, hello. Homestead Twins, hello. And of course, Indiana Mike. There's another couple right there who have just been busting it, and it's hard. And I don't think that, they get enough credit, in these things, when you go and say, hey, I'm going to go build from the ground up. And, oh, by the way, I don't know what I'm doing, but we'll get there. And it actually comes out straight, plumb line square and looks really good and functional, and the doors operate. I always tell people that one of the traits to know how good a carpenter you are is how well you can set a door, right? Because they can be tricky, from time to time. Yep. The beautiful MJ in Wisconsin is in the house. Miley Mason and ACM Homestead. There's another couple that I know are swinging as hard as they can.
Hope you're feeling better.
Yeah, I do hope you're feeling better. They weren't feeling good not long ago. Helen says, good evening, pet food recalls. I just finished reading articles on Purina cat food and different dog foods. This is serious. Yeah, I would really encourage everybody to do your best to produce your own dog food.
I didn't hear anything about a recall, so.
Our dogs get a lot of eggs because
they get a lot of eggs.
A lot of eggs, yeah. Pack Rat's in the house. Good evening to you and Mary Michelle. Hello, hello. Conserve friends. I think I'm going to get to the bottom pretty quick here. Hey, and also Life with Mike and Jen. I have had some really cool conversations, specifically with Mike lately. And, he showed me that he gave a shit, and that's a good thing, and we certainly aren't going to agree on everything. I promise you that's true, but super great human being.
Good to see you.
Stan Guthrie's in the house from Chewy, Oklahoma. And of course, Eagle Lover, Texas. She's world famous as well.
Hi.
Let me see here. Wanda Weber says hello from Southeast Kansas. Well, hello, neighbor. Yep, I don't know what it is in Southeast Kansas, but you can see from the pictures on the screen, that's what it's like out there. One picture I took from my sitting in my truck.
Sitting in your truck.
Yep, and the other one was just out the front door. But I'm going to get to the point of these pictures here in a minute if I ever get to the bottom of this. Hey, there's Sharpshooter. Yeah.
Hi.
Yeah. Around this neck of the woods, you get names for interesting reasons. And I'm Sharpshooter. I'm super glad you're here, bud. You the man. Yep. EZ is in the house. Helen, I think I said hello, but if I didn't, hello, Helen. Let's see here. Farm Ranch Homestead says, bad dad joke alert. What doth it take to think the unthinkable in iceberg? That's a great way to start. Grateful Hearts, good evening to you. Barbara S., good evening. Dorothy Holloway, Tom Shivel. Hey, WA, have you made it back yet? Leela Eubank, this Texas gal is watching what the Texas National Guard is doing in Shelby Park. Yes, and Leela, we're going to talk about that tonight. I have that on my agenda. And of course, Grumpy Acres Farms in the house. Good. Let me see. Gizmo, I think I said hello to already. If not, hello. Miley, I know I did. Tim Riley, good evening to you. Unique Prepping. Hey, I'm going to talk about you a little bit tonight. Oh, my goodness. Look at that. So
wow.
This person is Bigfoot. This is the person that we've all heard about but no one's ever seen. This is my beautiful sister, Bobby Seeger, who owns the Water Street Waffle Company in Belton, Texas. So if you're ever in Belton, Texas, go get a waffle and tell her that Life Done Free and Tag and B sent you. That'd be super good. All right. I think I got to the bottom. So anyway, what I wanted to show you guys was this is a picture of what's going on right now. What I want you to really look at is the sky, because I get questions all the time about solar. And I'm going to actually show you guys something that a lot of people don't know. Well, hello, not that kind of Karen. Pete says, waffles. So if you look at the sky and you think about solar, I don't know what you think about what kind of power I would be getting in these environments, and you're not going to get a lot of power, right? Because the cloud it's cloudy and you're not a lot is popping through. So I thought I would actually show you guys what we get for power in a day like this. So this is actually my monitor of my solar system. And if you look at the top after battery, what you can see is the batteries are absorbing at this very moment when I took this picture, 9.9 amps. Okay. My batteries are holding 53.8 volts, which this really tells me the 53.8 volts, the batteries are getting close to being full, right? Because I have a 48 volt system. The battery level isn't full yet, but it's weird how it works. So it'll just jump. It's not a slow progression. But what I also wanted to show you guys is how we manage through low power situations. So even though I'm bringing in 9.9 amps, which will charge my batteries through the course of a day if I need them to, what I really hope you notice is under load, you can see I'm not using hardly any load. And if you look to the right of that, it says 96 watts. So when we get into a low light situation, or we get several days where we have to manage our system, we begin to shut things down and just get down to the primaries, which would be for us would be like the water pumps, right? Because you want to make sure you can take a shower. You want to make sure your hot water heater, even though it don't take a lot of power, just the igniter is all that really takes the power there. But you want to make sure those systems are going, the internet, if we want to keep the internet on, things like that. But we kind of begin to shut everything else down. So
the refrigerator.
Yep, the refrigerator stays on. But this is what a red day looks like for us. So see, I'm still bringing in power. And if you go back to that picture, there's not a lot of sun, but it's still absorbing, right, all of that. And you're still getting some power in. So all that living off grid really means from an energy perspective is management, right?
Yes.
It's just a management issue. And you just have to know, at which time to do it. Like if this example right here that I'm showing you guys was only a one-day event, I wouldn't really worry about it. We'd go on with our day. But the problem is this particular case, it still looks like this right now. And a couple of these pictures were a couple of days old. And so we have to manage through 3 or 4 or 5 days, quite often.
And that, if you go back to that other picture that said that we were
There you
using,
go.
the load was using 96 watts. That fluctuates depending upon if the freezer's been
Kicked on
opened, or if
right.
the water pump turns on, or you flush the toilet and it uses your pressure tank down. to where it needs to fill back up, then those pumps will turn on. Actually, 2 pumps turn on, right? Because there's one in the cistern and then there's one in the well to
right.
But then I guess they wouldn't both kick on at the same time, right? Just depends on how the float in the tank is.
It just depends, yeah. If you happen to turn on the need for the water while the well was filling the cistern, then you'd have both of them.
Right.
Right.
So
hey, real quick, Skane's girl's in the house, and you know, she's had some tribulation in her life lately, and so let's make sure we continue to send our prayers to Skane's girl. You know, she's part of our community. She's a wonderful lady. It's fun to laugh and joke. You guys have seen on the video, she's the rapper that did Donald Duck, and that's a long story how we got there, but it was awesome. And if you watch the year in review video, this is the young lady who's actually doing the rapping. But let's keep those prayers coming to Skane's girl as she, you know, gets through those issues. Did I miss anybody here? Yeah, Unique's in the house. Nope. Tim Riley, hello. KY Goatman, hello. Prep Rebel Actual. You know, that's a really good name. But that will be hard to say fast.
Yeah.
Right? Prep Rebel Actual. Prep Rebel Actual. Love it. Love it. Cheryl Seller, hello to you. I think I got everybody. Let's check. Just make sure. Oh, my goodness. There's all kinds of conversations going on. Oh, Jen Botho's in the house. Cool. Big B. Dana Green, what's up? Okay, got back to it. So anyway, I thought I would just show you guys what it's actually like to live off grid and actually see it. You know, that it's not hard, you guys. We're not without anything, right? I have lights on right now. I'm talking to you on a live stream, even though we're in a red environment for us from a power perspective. But it's okay. You know, it's just we limit it. And you know what the really cool thing is? You get so much more family time when you don't want to turn the television on. Right? You get so much more family time when none of those things work because you just spend the time together doing whatever it is. And so to me, that's, you know, super, super neat. And I'm super excited about it. All right, babe. What do you got on your list? You want to start us off tonight?
Well, sure. Okay. So sure. last live.
By the way, your hair looks nice. I'm glad you combed it.
Thank you. Kinda. Anyway, so our last live, we were getting ready for the big storm, right? Mm-hmm. So we got 5 inches of snow ish, right?
Well, 5.5 is what they registered 5 miles north of us.
Okay.
So
it's kind of hard to tell because of the blowing, the drifting that's going on. So that was round 1. Yeah. We had 3 or 4 rounds that they had said were coming. So we're now on round 2.
2 of 4.
4. So we trying to get everything done, trying to conserve the power and haul in water. So in the negatives.
Mm-hmm. So why do you have to haul in water?
To keep it from freezing. So the buckets so I'm like, okay, I'm going to drain this tank. If I'm going to drain this tank, I might as well fill these buckets. Okay, I'm filling these buckets. Great. Now the buckets, because it's below 0, are freezing. So can't water animals with frozen buckets. So I'm bringing water into the house to thaw buckets of water, or like Culligan jugs, I guess, not buckets. They're like 4-gallon jugs that I fill. And then I take to the animals and fill the birds' waters up. And then I bring back what I don't use so it doesn't freeze. Like I take the axe and I bust a section in the pond. And then within just minutes, it's back to like slush on top. So trying to keep, I feel like we get so far and then we take a step back and then we get so far. And I'm like, this is awesome. We got a pump, we got tanks, we've got hoses, we've got ways to water. And then winter hits and then it's like, back to like the 1800s. Hauling jugs of water to and from the...
Yeah. Have any of you guys ever spent your life savings to live like you're living in the 1800s?
So, yeah. I feel like we take steps forward and then we take steps back.
But it's not really steps back, babe, because what we figured out how to do is to manage the energy capital from a watering perspective for 11 months out of the year, for 10 months out of the year. Right? I mean, you didn't have to carry any water this year.
No.
Till now.
till now.
And it just sucks that the time you have to carry it is the worst part of the year.
Yes, it's when
Right.
you're wearing
Right.
17 layers and trying to walk, and that's slippery, and like things don't go right.
Mm-hmm. Well, what's gone wrong with your watering systems, Pumpkin?
Well, so first I blew the pump, right? Because I didn't
This is
drain
a
it.
loaded question, by the way, guys.
I didn't drain the pump in time. I didn't drain the system in time, and the pump water froze in the pump and popped the pump, broke the pump. And then I was like, okay, it's going to be above like 50s. I'm going to fill the tanks again. And then I was going to drain them 2 days ago because it was supposed to be like high 30s, and the lines were frozen. And I've been trying to get them drained again for 3 days. So I'm hoping I don't blow any PEX crimps. I mean, I've already...
But you'll fix them. Right?
Somebody will. I mean, I can't really get that... you know, I've even tried to pull on it. That's a
Yeah. So what she's telling is that brand new automatic watering system that I put in for her this year, and I warned her several times about draining it.
I did.
Times.
I drained it. I drained it once.
Yeah.
And then the weather was okay, so I thought that I had a little bit of time. Like I was going to cheat the system, and I was going to get another couple weeks out of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And how will that work out?
It didn't work.
Yeah. Now I'm down a $200 pump at least.
Oh yeah, that's gone already. I mean, because when you turn it on, water just shoots out the top of it. Well, I mean, really, it was a poor design because when I tried to drain.
Really? Really? You didn't carry water for 10 months. Oh my goodness.
When I tried to
oh
drain,
my
okay,
goodness.
so he said it like this. So it's like this, and the tank is hanging, or the pump is here. So I drained it here. Water's in the bottom of the pump. I drain these, but there's water hanging at the bottom of the pump. So now when you turn it on, the water shoots out the...
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm going to let you guys know a little secret about a pump. Okay? So,
I didn't drain it.
Yeah. No, so I can help you out, right? I can help you out. Okay.
You better draw me a picture.
I'm going to draw you a picture. Okay? Okay. Pump. You agree this is what it looks like?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, can you see this? Okay. This is what she's talking about.
Yeah, so I drained this.
Okay, did you know that if you come back over here and you shut this valve off and you turn the pump off, it'll spit all the water out of it?
No, I was told never to run the pump with not the water coming through it.
It is a perfect design. It's user
So you
error.
want me to blow it dry?
When you're draining the pump, yes.
You did not say that.
Oh
You
my
said
gosh.
don't ever run the pump dry.
Everybody knows this. Hey, I want to say a special hello to DR, who's in the house tonight. DR is, I don't know that there's anybody out there that I've been friends with longer. His name's Dan Redding, and Dan knew me when I was a little kid. I mean, I'm talking about middle school.
I'm sorry, Dan.
Yeah, and so anyway, I just wanted to say hello to Dan. I have no idea where this is at up here, so I can get it off my screen, but there we go. Yeah. Anyway, so B blew the pump. I have to go fix the pump.
Yep.
And
at least.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm hoping that the crimp lines stop.
Yep. Poor design, not bee proof. It was clearly not bee proof. Right. Right. Tim Riley's exactly right.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. It's so funny.
So every year now we blow water pumps, just like
if you don't get a water
every
pump,
year.
If you don't get I think we've lost at least one every year.
Every year.
Yeah. And we've got a bunch of them because we have a bunch of independent systems.
You would think that
that you would learn.
I
haven't blown any this year.
You know, if we had one that actually lasted through a winter, then I would know the processes to do it.
Yeah.
You know, blow it dry, for example. Yeah. I've never had to do
Grumpy
that.
says that you're good at gaslighting me.
No.
She is mean to me. And you guys should all feel sorry for me. Yep. Eagle Lover says, start watching Weatherman Plus so you will know a week before the weather got. I told her.
Well, I thought that like high 30s I could still do it. I thought that I would be able to get the tanks drained.
Yep. Sharpshooter says that was a blame shift. Always blame the engineers. Yeah. Yeah. And so you guys know Mo Engineer, who's on here, I consult with him on all my engineering needs. So if it's not her fault and it goes to the engineering's fault, it's Mo's fault. Just saying. Mo, it's your fault. It's all your fault.
Well, so I'm back hauling water. It's my knuckles are bleeding. They're all cracked, and
I told you if you'd quit dragging them on the ground, that would stop.
No, I'm not dragging them. My fingers feel like heels. They're like snagging on my clothes.
Yeah, WA says poor design because it doesn't pump ice. I agree with you.
It won't pump ice.
Gizmo says I make myself laminate index cards for procedure like draining the water. She didn't even need an index card, Gizmo. I told her to drain it. I said it's time.
Yeah, well, I did
true.
drain it. I mean, I drained the system. I didn't drain the pump.
Hey, Tamberg, hello. Carrie Davis has a great idea. She says it's Trump's fault.
Yeah.
So are you going to install the next pump with a compressed air fitting on the other side of a ball valve? Well, it has the ball valve in it already. All she had to do is turn the ball valve off, turn the pump on for a second, and it spit it right out. But that's not what happened. The pump didn't blow because she didn't drain the pump. She didn't drain the system. It was full of water. It wasn't just in the pump.
No, it was just in the pump because I drained it the other way. I drained it out the hose way.
But it was full of water.
Yes, because the pump was lower than the...
So the tanks were empty and the pump was full?
The tanks were empty.
Oh, yes. So it was just full. The pump was just full.
The pump was full of water.
That blown water pump better come with a good dessert.
Banana bread.
Tim's my buddy.
You
know that?
You got banana bread.
Good looking out.
Right? You liked it. The banana bread was good.
Pete says, I feel you, Tag. You'll get through it. Again. That's so awesome. That is just...
Yeah.
Yep, faulty pump.
I hate that.
Banquet says, oh my gosh, Tag, you just called B a knuckle dragger.
Yes.
I always tell her that. Because her hands get that.
Yeah, they get all sore.
You got to tell me about it first, then I can blame the contractor. Says no. All starts with the engineer. It all starts with the engineer. 100% of the time.
Yeah.
Midwest says we use Corona ointment for cow teeth and horse hooves on our hands and face. Works great.
Corona ointment.
Write it down. Look it up. Hey, Rhonda. Welcome. And it's okay. Cooking supper's important. Hey, look at that. Unique prepping. Hey, thank you for that. And thank you for supporting the channel. Oh, that. Okay, you guys. This is worth me putting a pause on what I'm doing here. Well, I got to find the email, but I just got notified of someone who is willing to help me with a freeze-proof pump system. I'm in, bud. I'm 100% in. Tell me what parts to buy. Give me a list, and I'll have them here.
Freeze-proof pump?
Yeah. Because I don't particularly like blowing pumps, right? Yep.
I mean, I would rather not. Yeah.
Half Bubble Off Plum says bag balm. Yeah, bag balm's good stuff.
I've been putting all kinds of balm.
Skins Girl says, Tag, I want to say a huge thank you to the community for their text, calls, and prayers. Just when I felt all alone, y'all reminded me that I'm not. That's what community is, Skins Girl. You know, community is not about just being there for each other when everything's pretty. You know, sometimes community is kicking you in the ass and telling you you're being a dumbass, and sometimes it's giving you a hug and telling you that, we're sorry.
Hang in there. And
it's kind of a little bit of all of it. And it's super easy to give up. It's super easy to throw your hands in the air. I mean, it just is. And, so there's no thanks needed. This is what community is supposed to be. And if that's not what community is for, Skins, you tell me what is. Right? Why don't you put a heat lamp system on the pump so it don't freeze? Okay, this is a great question, Wanda. So because we live off grid, I have to produce all my own power. And the problem is anytime you get any kind of heat source, so that would be true for like a blow dryer, even a coffee maker. I mean, any of those kinds of things require quite a bit of power. And when you buy solar systems, so you can get all the way at the bottom a little system really, really cheap. But every time you take that little next step up, it gets exponentially expensive. Yeah. And so getting a system that would run, let's say, 1,000-watt or a 1,500-watt heater all through the night, I mean, I'd have a $10,000 system in my chicken coop, right? I can't, it just isn't feasible for me to do a lot of that. And so we've been doing lots of exploring on how to do it using geothermal, or how can I do it that doesn't.
I wonder if you just did, if you just heated it in the heat of the day, in the sun of the day, if you used a plugger in or just like defrosted it. Okay, because it's there, it's just frozen.
Yeah. So that works absolutely great till the sun goes down.
Yeah, just in the sun of the day, like
I could heat it during the day.
11 to 2.
If you had sun, you could heat it during the day. But what happens is, as soon as the sun goes down, it's all frozen again. It's not a long-term solution. You're back out there breaking it. You're back out there doing those kinds of things.
But it's just one less trip that I am hauling.
See, Tamber says the power plant, we had freeze protection sheets that said we needed to be done whenever it got under 32 degrees. Yeah, water, guys. Water's an interesting thing. It's one of the hardest of all of the systems, because the truth is my solar system works better in the cold. Like it really does. It performs really, really well if it's getting sun when it's cold outside.
But batteries,
all that stuff. I mean, the batteries don't want to charge or discharge under freezing, right? But they're in their own room. It's heated. They'll be all right out there. But what I'm talking about is water. It freezes, and you got to be able to move water. And there's a lot of complexity there, but. I can't wait to try to figure out how to master it. Like I said, we were talking about at our last live before about putting a big cylinder in the ground, 12 feet deep and moving the water. But the longer I thought about that process, the longer I thought it doesn't work, because even if I can keep it from freezing, the cow is only going to be able to stick his head in there this far. So really, I've gone to all that work for 3 gallons of water, right? They're not going to stick their neck all the way down a 12-foot pipe.
No, I mean, so they can't even reach into the bottom of the trough now, right? And how does that?
What that means is I have to install a float, and if I have to install a float, I have to connect it to the well, and then I'm using well water. Yes. And it just creates a whole lot of other stuff. Tamber says, "What happened? I have no idea. Bethany's been very mean to me, and you should scold her, Tamber." Yeah. Packrat says, I don't know what that first one is. Eucerin, corn husk lotion, and comfrey salve. Yeah, Bee used comfrey salve from time to time. Yep. Hey, there's LJC. She's super famous too. Her husband, I didn't know this. We were just learning this just this week. Her husband is an expert mover and hauler and deliverer. Did you know that?
That's a good handy thing.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm going to remember that.
Yeah.
It's absolutely awesome. Helen says, question, what kind of heating system do you have, Tag? Well, you're talking about for my house, we have, I have a wood cook stove in the kitchen. I have a fireplace in the living room. I have a fireplace in two of the 3 bedrooms, 2 of the 4 bedrooms. Yes. Right. And so we primarily use that for heat. I have mini splits that I could also heat, but it won't heat in this kind of weather. But I could use those too. And I did plumb the whole house and ductwork the whole house to put a propane furnace in if I ever decide to. We don't have one today, but I thought there might come a day where me and Bee get old. But
maybe.
Let me see here. Wanda says, our pump is in a small building like a dog house with a 100-watt light bulb on it, and we have never had it freeze. I see your point about the solar energy. Yeah, it's just, can you use a submersible pump, Mario? Yeah, Mario, I don't know. I mean, I should be asking you that question. How do I keep water outside, or really, I guess really even inside, because we could put it inside, from freezing in minus 30-degree weather with no energy input?
Well, if you put the pump in the center of that IBC tote, it's like freezing inward.
Yeah, but here's the thing. So you could put a cistern in the ground.
It would drain
I could keep the water source thawed. I can put it in the ground. That's fine. So now it's underground. So like, for example, your barn. I can go in there, dig a big hole, put a cistern in the ground. The cows are walking on top of it. It's not a problem. The problem is at some point that water has to come out of that cistern.
Yes.
How do I keep it in the bowl from freezing and in the parts? Because the problem is it's in that I'm breaking pipes. I'm breaking all kinds of stuff. It's not about the source. I can deal with the source. How do I keep the bucket and the lines and all that
The
freezing?
bucket, well, I mean, I am going to have to go and kick out the tube and fill up the liquid.
Mhm.
Anyway, you can't stop that without a heater under the bowl.
Yeah, there's got to be a better way.
But it's the hauling it back and forth,
Yeah.
and then pouring it in and slopping it all over. And
the good news is we have the water issue solved for 10 months, right?
Yes.
So we're down to trying to figure out the 2-month equation,
Just
which means,
and it's like 4 weeks.
yeah, it's not horrible, but it's the worst 4 weeks.
Yes, it is. Which is why.
Yeah, Tamara said we ran all the pumps so that they wouldn't freeze again, but this requires energy input. And again, I'm very cautious about what energy I use. Could we go buy, let's just say, a couple $1,000 system just so I could circulate a pump? Maybe. But I don't know if I could buy enough batteries for a couple $1,000 to keep it going all night long. Right? I don't know. I mean, I'd have to do that. But let me see here. Anyone notice the weather forecast changing rapidly? Yeah. You think? Man, they even got it right. We were supposed to start getting snow last night, and it was supposed to snow less than an inch. And then nothing today, but just cold weather.
Cold.
Didn't snow at all last night and snowed all day today.
Yeah.
You know, and it seems like the forecast for the temperatures is getting worse and worse and worse. Like it keeps going down. When I looked at it today, we're going to have a day where not the real feel, just the temperature is minus 14. I think today's Friday. I think that's Saturday or Sunday. Yeah. And so the real feel is going to be minus 25, right?
Eek.
I don't know how to keep anything. Oh, I'm so far behind you guys.
Yeah. He's already like, it was 9 last night, and he's like, we need to bring in the dogs. And then like, they are outdoor dogs. No. Then today he's like, it's negative, what was it? 11. We need to bring in the dogs. And I'm like, the dogs are outside playing. They're not even affected by what's going on. Like she has icicles hanging off of her. She was like chomping on the snow, and now she had icicles hanging off of her fur. I'm like, we don't need, and then they chew up house plants and lay on the couches. I'm not interested in bringing them all the way into the house. It's too hot for them. And he's like, at some point in time, we're going to have to bring them in. Not today.
She's a hard ass. I'm telling you.
I just don't think that they want to. I mean, you open the door and they don't even want to come in.
Okay. But listen, when you have animals, and there's a lot of people in my community that will disagree with what I'm about to tell you. Okay. But that's okay. I think if you have animals, you have a responsibility to provide a healthy and safe environment for those animals, right up until the time you take their life to eat them. Okay, and I know we're not going to eat the dogs. However, I think we owe them that. And when it gets to a point in the year where it gets cold enough, I would rather them just be safe. I know I'm a softie. I can't help myself.
The birds and everybody needs to come in. You're just the dogs.
No, not the birds. They have their own house.
I guess the dogs don't have their own house, but they're outdoor dogs.
My dream would be a gravity-fed underground water with frost-proof faucets. Yeah, and I think that may be ultimately where we have to go to it. I really like the system that we have, though, because it's all automated, except when we get into freezing temperatures. Hey, Toby Baldwin's in the house. This guy is a future Kansan, we keep hearing. We're just waiting for him to pull the trigger. Right?
So I hear.
Yep. Tag, I'm not sure I understand what you mean by cow water. I know my friend uses geothermal water setup for his cows, but it does need pressurized water for a float. You can't do that? No, I can absolutely do that. What I'm trying to do is figure out how to do it without using my well. So I want to be able to use an underground cistern, but then an underground cistern, or like what I was talking about, which is just put a 12-foot pipe in the ground and let the temperature under the ground keep it thawed, circulate the water, which I can circulate the water very inexpensively. That's a very small, air pump or water pump, probably air pump so the lines don't freeze, right? You're just pumping air down into the bottom of it, and it's rotating on one 50-watt panel. It's perfectly fine. The problem is it's not a big solution for me, because if the pipe, let's say, is 12 inches in diameter and it's sticking out of the ground a foot, which is all you can stick it out because you're trying to heat it, then that means that cow who in one drink is going to drink that water below where they can reach it. And if I go to a 6-foot in diameter pipe, now I think the geothermal properties, I'm going to lose a whole bunch of them, and I'm going to have a harder time keeping it thawed. I need Mario to answer these questions.
It won't keep it thawed, but it won't keep it thawed on the top, but it'll have enough. I think if you did a huge one, it would have enough water in it that you could break a hole here.
If I'm going to do that, why don't I just have a trough? Instead of digging a hole 12 feet and then going through all that.
Yeah, because the trough would eventually freeze, but the 12 foot in the ground wouldn't freeze solid. I don't think.
Yeah, oh, here we go. Here's Mike. Submersible pump, drill a hole in the discharge line at the base of the pump. Then gravity will drain water out of the pipe. Yeah, I think you should really hook me up with some kind of design that won't freeze, that I can, use from underground, and the cows will always have fresh, clean drinking water.
That'd be so nice.
Yeah, I'm all about it. I would love to hear when we can expect to have those blueprints.
Then we wouldn't have to take steps backwards.
Yeah, Tamara says you can buy small solar pumps. Yeah, I know you can. Can you run baseboard radiators on your solar? I don't know, Helen, what a baseboard radiator, what it costs to run. I'm just not sure. I can't answer that question.
They probably are all different, right?
Yeah. One says, I got my heat lamp bulb back at Wally World back in July. And they're starting to make stuff that's a little bit lower, that gets into the 600 watts and the, 500 watts and the 400 watts. But can't just use a garden hose and drain it after each use. Well, no, that works fine when it's cold outside and okay inside, Mike. But the problem is it's so cold now, the tanks inside the building will freeze.
Yes.
I can't have water in the tanks. So all of my gravity-fed rainwater catchment systems, they all have to be drained this time of year. It won't. If I had water in there now, it would freeze every one of them. And it's just the cows just don't produce enough heat. We originally talked about building a barn design where the roof would force all of the body heat of all of the animals up into a cavity where water tanks would sit. And I'm thinking about, could I keep them thawed that way? But that's a whole lot of money to find that answer. Heat from a compost pile can keep other things warm. How to keep water accessible and uncontaminated is the thing. I would love to learn that. The water won't freeze if you put glycol in it. May not be good on the animals, but you didn't specify. Okay, thanks, Mo. Yeah, I heard those solar recirculating pumps pumping during the day through a solar pipe array for your storage tank. I'm wondering what happens at night. Then everything freezes again and I'm breaking stuff. This is, again, my big concern. I think with an air pump, you could move enough water to maybe keep it that way. I don't know. We're going to try to tackle it last year. You can install a frost-free spigot inside the barn, then bee wouldn't have to haul water. The cows will just need to learn to drink the water before it freezes. Yeah, but you still got to haul water because I can't keep water in the tanks. The tanks inside the barn will freeze.
That's why she said a frost-free spigot.
Oh, you're talking about from the well? Yeah. Yeah, I could do that. I could just trench another one. And we've talked about that.
And that's what you said would be what you were
Tammy Hall
thinking.
says bring them in. And I think she's talking about the dogs, but she might be talking about the cows.
And the turkeys and the guineas.
Oh, could you imagine all those animals in our house?
And the chickens? No. I can't imagine the 2 dogs in the house. They're like wild animals.
Guys, I'm going to say, if I missed a very important comment, put it back in there. I got to skip down because I'm like 2 pages behind. So I don't know where we're at. Oh, here we go. Mike says vodka doesn't freeze, just saying. Yeah. Okay. So what else you got?
The cows wouldn't even be walking around.
Since you've destroyed my beautiful water system.
I didn't really destroy it. I just blew the pump and now the tanks are totally full and I can't get the water out of them. Yeah, or out of the line or the hose.
So guess what's about to happen?
That's why I was saying that I'm praying that that doesn't happen. I mean, I already know of the one issue. So
yeah. The good news is Bee's going to get a hard lesson in how to run PEX and all that stuff this year.
No,
you got to know how to repair it if you're going to break it.
I've done all that. I've tried to push them that.
So maybe I should go buy a battery powered Milwaukee crimper.
It would more likely get done.
Gotta get a new tool, right? Go ahead.
Yeah, I think that would be wise of you to get.
Okay, what else you got?
We've got this snow coming. We had snow in between the doors. I opened the door and the snow from the sandwiched in between the doors, open one, and then it just comes in. That snow is powdery.
Mm-hmm.
It's like getting everywhere. So I also took the clothes out of we got some sun. I did a couple loads of laundry and I hung them in the greenhouse thinking that they would dry, and instead they froze. So I had to get the clothes out of the lawn, out of the greenhouse, and hang them in the kitchen so that the wood burning stove can dry our clothes. Back to hanging laundry in the house. And plastic on the windows. If you can see, I plasticed the windows up on this level because
it's cold.
We get quite the breeze coming through here. So hoping that this helps with the...
Saw a video on a Canadian greenhouse with windows in the south wall and water tanks were black. Heat during the day kept the water system free flowing. Yeah, I have not tried that. I have read that, but man, just common sense to me says it will last very short-lived. Like it gets minus 20 out there. I just don't know how that works.
That's pretty cold.
Yeah, I must have missed a good one there. Let me see here. Tag, I think this is the commercial option my friend uses. You can adapt the idea or modify the design to use a system, but here's the concept. All right, cool. I'll take a look at it. Anyway, keep going. What else you got?
Sorry. Snow. Ordered 20 bales of straw. Didn't.
They were supposed to be here today.
They were supposed to be here 2 days ago, then 1 day ago,
then today.
Then today. Maybe tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
So what we're going to do is I've got a building I don't really have a lot in it, and I'm going to go out there and cut an extra hole in the door, and then I'm going to build both dogs a little straw fort with walls and a ceiling and fill it full of straw and maybe give them a chance to get out of there. Because again, if I don't find something that makes me feel more comfortable about, right now they're in the back porch and they're just laying there and they seem to be fine.
And they're not even like curled up. They're all like laying out. Yeah. So I don't think that
But if my need to protect them isn't satisfied, I'm going to bring them in the house. So that's the end of that story.
Gosh, I'm going to build them something or I am bringing them in the house. You choose.
You choose.
Yeah. So I guess we're building a dog.
Yeah. Something.
House.
Yeah. Outside in the minus 20-degree weather.
Yeah. That'll be nice.
What else you got?
We went and had a meetup. We were supposed to have some company out of town and they didn't come because of the storms. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So we had a meetup anyway. We went and celebrated a community member's birthday.
We did.
Got to sing happy birthday to her and eat some hash browns. We had a breakfast buffet.
We are pretty lucky. There's a local restaurant here called 1886 that's not far from us. And she's super like-minded. And she opens her restaurant up during closed hours for us, for the community. And so we called her and said, hey, normally they close at 2:00. They do breakfast and lunch and they're gone. And I said, hey, we're going to want to all get together and we open a restaurant. She said, of course, what do you guys want? I said, how about we'll do a breakfast buffet? So she made a breakfast buffet for all of us, but the whole restaurant was closed except to us. And so it was just our community. And we had eggs and bacon, all the normal.
Oh my gosh. She makes the best hash browns.
Yeah. And so we got to do that for Pippin, which was pretty cool,
Yes.
And I'm sure she appreciated it.
Yes. So we got to have a little get together and it was nice to see everybody. Those who could make it.
Yep.
And those who couldn't, we will see you next time.
Yeah. If it was close enough to my wood stove, Mike, I could, but I don't know that I could get it all the way out there and back. Probably not.
Yeah. Something else I did. Got to pay the taxes.
Oh yeah. You want to see something funny?
I got to pay. That's it. Well, at least give them a check.
2 checks.
Yes. Well, because you have to pay federal and state. So.
Yes. Yeah. So we had to write a
big check.
Yeah, a couple big checks, which was nice. Got it out of the way, but I'll share with you guys. You don't care, do you? You haven't even seen this yet. So I had an interesting conversation with my accountant.
You're going to tell him how much we had to pay in taxes?
No, I'm not going to tell him
how much 80% of our income has to go to taxes.
I just thought I would share with you guys my conversation because it was funny. I thought it was funny. So my accountant says to me, she says, to reiterate, the checks given to us today for your fourth quarter federal and state estimated tax payment for your 2023 personal tax return will be sent out today. They are not late because you have until 1/15 to make the fourth quarter payment for the previous year. Due to the size of the checks, we're sending them certified. Please let us know if you have any questions. And so I responded to her, it's great to know that this pays my taxes for the next 5 years. You guys are swell. And she replies, don't be salty. You can kill the messenger. I also like how you only replied to me because you knew I would be sending something snarky back. I replied, this made me laugh, but I'm writing my suits off and there isn't anything you can do about it.
Yeah.
To which she says, this is the funny part. She says, sweet Jesus, I pray for Bethany's peace of mind. Shall she be granted sainthood? Laugh out loud. To which I replied, I will tell her when she gets back from shoveling the driveway.
Yep.
Anyway.
So I was in on that first message, but you just sent her a private message and told her.
I just poke fun of it.
That's funny.
Yeah. Because it's tax season, and if you don't laugh about it, you're going to cry about it.
Right? Nope, you just keep on going.
Yep.
You just keep on going. No steps backwards. You just keep on going.
Yeah, you know what, though? It's if you guys can't laugh at it, again, you can spend, you guys, so much time in defeat.
Yes.
We can spend so much time in being angry at, what the world holds, whether we got treated fair, whether we can spend so much time on there. I broke out of the water.
Yeah,
right.
because it was plastic.
We can do all of that, but it is so counterproductive to your chance to getting free. You only have so much energy capital. And that energy capital, if you spend any time of it sulking on something you can no longer change, you're missing, in my opinion, you're just missing the boat. So
yeah.
Anyway, I don't want to totally derail all this. Tamara Smith says the power goes out in Texas this week. Is it out now, or are you doing a projection? How's that work?
They tell them ahead of time.
All right. So what's next? You want me to go next?
I have to put in the stove. Yeah.
Okay. So here, guys, this you guys knew from our last live. I went to an auction, and this were my finds for the auction plus one other thing, but I didn't get a picture of it. But anyway. So on the right is a big fuel tank. It's a 700-gallon fuel tank. And what I liked about it is it had a built-in ladder and a stand, and it worked. I got to talk to the guy who had it at the auction. It's got all of the filters and everything on the other side. You can't see it. And I gave $100 for the tank, the filters, the pump, the stand, the ladder, the whole thing. And I sent it home. And the truth is I don't really need another one. I've got 4 of them out there now. But I thought for $100.
Is that bigger than the other one?
Yeah, the other ones are 500-gallon tanks. This is a 700-gallon tank.
Is it taller?
And it's taller, yeah.
Because that's one thing that if it's short, it's not like it doesn't pump like it. The shorties don't pump like the big ones. Yeah.
So that was pretty cool. And then I bought a grapple for my skid steer. I already had a grapple, but I broke it because it was just a cheapie apparently, and I could never get it right again. And so I like to celebrate that I got $100 steel on the tank, but I paid $1,300 for that grapple. But I really need it on the farm. We do a lot of tree work and a lot of, cutting firewood. And so when it comes to brush, and it comes to those things, the grapple is just really, really important to have. And this is if you can tell it in the top left-hand corner, the brand is Stout, which is a name brand, heavy duty one. So anyway, so that's the first 2 things I came home with. And then B wanted me to buy some calf huts. So she got 3 calf huts. I think we paid too much for them personally, but.
Yeah, well.
So, I know where I can find it. I can show you guys a picture of what they look like.
Doesn't that grapple look just like the other one?
It's very different. Okay. So see these calf huts out here. Now these 4 that are out here.
The closest one are mine.
Okay. The closest one. This is the calf hut right here. Okay. So I don't know if you guys probably can't see my mouse. Okay, so on the right-hand picture, you can see that first little hut there. So I bought 3 of those for B, and we gave $180 a piece for them, right?
Yep.
180. We gave $180 a piece for them.
What LJC give for theirs?
I don't know. Hey, Leather Homestead's in the house. How are you, bud?
That's a good price.
Yeah, Tim Riley says those grapples are a force multiplier. Tremendous buy. Yeah, and like I said, I had one. I've used them for a long time, but I just keep breaking the one I've got because I think it's just not a very good one or whatever it is. So we'll give it away to another homestead that needs one for the moment that they can weld and beat on, and then where they won't hurt or whatever it is. But anyway, so that was my takes at the auction, which was pretty cool, I think. Oh, that makes me feel better. LJC said they gave $200 a piece for theirs. We paid $180 for these, so that's about the same.
Yeah, but hers has like cooler windows. I love your back windows that like prop up. Mine doesn't have those. Has a side window and the feed buckets, but not the back window.
Toby says you can bring that skid steer and grapple down here and help me clean up my property. Well, Bud, when you're done moving and you get up here, I'll help you move anything you want to. Just come on up and we'll move it all around. And we're getting inside the community to where there's quite a few skid steers out there. We could cause all kinds of trouble.
Many hands make light work.
Yeah, Glenn, you were not late. You were right on time, bud. Right on time. All right, what else you got? What's next on your list after taxes?
Look, I got my new magazines. Magazines
Murray?
Are starting to come in. Yeah, the hatchery.
Yeah.
We get to pick and see which birds we're going to do. Mm-hmm. What turkeys.
Murray Hatchery is pretty close to us, so that's one we like to order from. Because the idea of those baby chicks and
where are they from?
Iowa, right on the edge of Iowa.
Oh yeah, it does say Iowa.
Yeah, which is not very far from me. But the idea of them spending 2 weeks in shipping is just not a good idea, in my opinion. So,
maybe a goose or two.
Mm-hmm. Oh, look at this! This is a really great. Big B says those calf huts slightly buried make good dog houses.
Slightly buried.
If you were to bury them a foot in the ground, to where you cut that opening down, and then you've anchored those huts, right?
So
they're not really going to move and fill them full of straw. They'd probably be all right.
That's a really good idea.
Yours sound like Hitches, and he paid $180, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he got all the rest of them.
Yeah. So
we got 3.
They had a whole bunch of them at the auction, and the community bought every one of them. We just got 3 of them.
Yeah.
In the deal. But Bobby says Sunday night here, it's going to be 20 with ice. Sunday 13 down here. Everything will close. Yeah, well, Bobby, that's actually decent working weather, so you know. Because right here, it's now at 7 degrees, and the real feel here is minus 15 right at the moment. So, yeah, it's cold, and, Texas isn't used to that, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. Another reason to be energy independent, right? Because we've had, when this last snowstorm that came in, a huge section around us, everybody was out of power. We weren't. Power. My solar system held up just fine.
Yeah. We have people all around us. Their battery died, couldn't start their car. It's too cold. The tires, the air in the tires goes down when it gets too cold.
Yeah. McMurray Hatchery is 20 minutes from Midwest Ribeye. Yeah, that's where we order from. You see here, Turkish underground city, not even going to try to pronounce it, housed some 20,000 inhabitants with all the necessary infrastructure used for 2,000 years. Might be onto something. Yeah, I'm ready. When do you want to start construction on the 20,000 inhabitants underground bunker? Mario, I'm in. You'll be here when? Yeah, let me see here.
Wait for 4
I
weeks,
order from McMurray also, and they're here in 2 days. Yeah, we've had really good luck, except with turkeys from them. And I don't think it's them. I mean, I think it's just turkeys. Right? Because turkeys, you order 30. Like the last batch that we ordered was 30, and would we end up with 6 or 7? 6 that live. Now, all 6, once they got to be a couple weeks old, you can't kill them.
The first ones, you ordered 10, and we ended up with 8.
Mm-hmm.
And then you ordered 30, and we ended up with 6.
Yeah.
And those ones I had to drive an extra 30 minutes to pick up because they were not delivered in time. So
Molly wants to know, will schools go 4 days a week? I don't have any idea. I can tell you schools waste a whole bunch of time. Some I've learned in being involved in some of the homesteading communities, the homeschooling communities, they seem to be able to get through their curriculum a whole lot faster than the public school systems do. Agreed on the animals. I have outside cats. Just made them a little warm house in the garage for them. Well, the good news is it's not going to get too cold where you're at, so they won't freeze to death.
Well, she said what was going to be what? What did Bobby say?
20.
Oh.
They'll be fine. I'm looking forward to Wednesday's heat wave. Yeah, me too. Hey, Salty Dog, what's going on? Hey, guys, like the new gear grid down. Better not today. It's -5. Yeah, it's cold here too. I was worried when I first got into living off grid about the solar system in the cold weather here, but what I've learned along the way is it performs great in the cold weather. It just doesn't perform well in the dark.
Right.
Right?
It doesn't charge well in the dark.
And Tamara says, yeah, turkeys, they'll die for no reason. Yeah, they're hard to keep alive. But here's the crazy thing, what I've learned, and we don't have a ton of experience at it, but we've just done a few of them. But after they get to be 3 or 4 weeks old, there you can't kill them. They're super tough.
It's better.
It's when they're little, man, they just die just look at them wrong and they die, You see here, Hankers Raw, good evening to you. Says we used to work in the woods at minus 25, minus 30 all the time. Yep. I ain't that tough.
Yeah.
KY Goatman says turkeys are stupid. They are stupid. All right, what else you got? What's next on your list?
This is why I ended up for wax when I did the hive that absconded when Silver Lining was here. This was the wax that was left over from it. I did a video.
You going to share any of that with Silver Lining?
She took some home too.
Oh, okay.
This is what was left. So it's got a little bit of brown on the bottom from my streaming process. Well, I dropped it, so it's like crumbly on the edges.
Okay, so you guys can see that. That's just beeswax.
Yeah. I should have put it in a mold, but I just poured it in a
So
bowl.
Silver Lining, did you get your fair share? Did you get this much, or did Bee cheat you?
I don't know what she ended up with.
She's in here. She can tell us.
This was what was left over from all that stuff that I dug out of the lid. Not stuff. I mean, it was comb that I dug out of the lid when they had built on the underside of the lid. And they can't do that. So, and I got a new book.
Oh, yeah.
And
where'd you get that new book?
You got it for me. Yay! All the different salves. And in here is a new soap recipe. So I am going to do a honey and oat soap. Everything that I have ever made in the past has all been goat's milk. Same recipe I've always used, goat's milk soap. And when I was looking through here, I had found they had, it's a hot process. They have honey and beeswax, and then they have honey and oats. They're both lye recipes, but I'm excited to try it. So thank you for the book. Where'd you get this? It says Hobby Lobby. Yeah. You got it from Hobby Lobby.
Yeah, I was just walking by an aisle and I seen it and I thought Bee would like that. Because making Bee happy is really important. I've felt really bad because she's been dragging her knuckles and they hurt. So
there are some salves in here that I have not seen before. And it talks about different fats and different herbs and different essential oils and properties, which you can never have too many resources. So
Silver Lining says she got her share. That you were generous to her. Well, she did half the work. She should get half the result, right?
Yeah.
That's what I think. Okay. Here you go.
What?
Looks like it's one word.
Create natural beeswax products for health and home. Even goes into candles. I have not made candles. I don't burn a lot of candles, but soaps and lotions and salves and ointments and.
LJC says, such a thoughtful husband. He deserves a new red toy.
Yes, he does.
See? You guys rock. Look at that.
I was actually thinking, have you guys seen the Milwaukee it's like the 12-volt water pump?
Yeah, that thing's cool.
You've seen that. So tell them about this water pump.
It's a pump on a long shaft you could stick down in a hole, and it just runs on the little 12-volt Milwaukee batteries. But it seemed to shoot pretty good. And so Bee was thinking that'd be a good thing for her to help move water and those kind of things. But what they were talking about is he deserves a new red toy. Did you read the keyword? See, it's he. There's no S in front.
Well, if it's a red toy, it would be yours no matter who used it.
don't give me that shit.
We can write your name on it.
You don't care about that?
I don't.
But
if it makes you feel better, you can write your name all over it.
Yeah, if you guys went downstairs into one of the kitchen drawers, you would find a pair of wire stripping pliers.
They're not wire strippers.
Okay, they're wire stripping pliers. And she went and got them from me, wrote her name on them, put them in her drawer, and she uses them to take the metal ring off the end of a sausage tube.
Yeah.
Did I describe any of what happened?
Bees sausage tools.
Yeah. Right.
They are the kitchen wire strippers, along with the kitchen hammer.
I must have missed something. That question was supposed to be funny. Which question? Oh, got it. I thought you were being serious. Okay, I got it. I'm a little slow tonight, Farm Wrench. I apologize. I held an oil recipe group at my house today with friends. Hey, congratulations. We made 4 recipes for the season. So fun. Yeah, how cool is that? Yeah, somebody got it. That was good. Leather got it, apparently. Let me see here. I'm back. My mom is 95% bedridden, so I had to help her out of the hospital bed to sit in the wheelchair to fix her bed. Got to help her sit on the commode, and I'm pretty much in charge of her meds. Hey, that'd be another great place to send some prayers, everybody, right? Because I know that's hard. And I know there's a lot of people in here who have experienced these kinds of experiences. And, what I would encourage you guys to do is just enjoy it while it lasts. My dad, I lost him not very long ago to COVID or to the vaccine or whatever it was. He fell sick one day, entered the hospital, and because of the protocols, never seen again. And, he had to die alone. So, WA, what I tell you, just enjoy every minute you get, bud. Just enjoy every one. I think of my dad every single day. Every single day.
Thank goodness you're there to help.
Yeah, thank goodness. Yep. Prep Rebel Actual. I'm gonna get that down. I use beeswax for threading my leather sewing machine. Oh, cool. Yeah, super cool. Yeah, bee potions. Bee has a lot of potions.
Mm-hmm.
She makes them all the time.
I do.
Yeah.
I like them.
Hey, there's Chuck Peoples from Homestead Medical. What's up, bud? Caregivers deserve a tax break. Well, I would say Americans deserve to get rid of taxes to their theft. But yes, I would agree with you. And that's, it takes a lot out of somebody to be a caregiver. It's a lot. And I know there's a lot of you out here and just listen to this channel that I know personally, who I know go through this situation. And my hat's off to you. Let me see. Oh, sorry, wrong one. My wife was at that point just before she passed away. It's a hard thing to do. Yeah. Loss is hard, guys. Super, super hard. Look at all those prayers for you, WA. Pretty cool. Chuck, we are doing good, man. We are just scrambling and fighting every single day. And I've had my plate so loaded full with business stuff. I haven't been able to get to half of them. We're getting along okay.
We just keep swinging.
Dan says, "Oh my God, I had no idea. My deepest condolences." Yeah, that's all right, bud. He was an amazing human being, and he was hard on himself his whole life, and he was a complete mess. But he also had an amazing work ethic, and he was so good to my kid. And there's just so many great things. But he, for those of you guys who don't know the story, he got his 3rd and final vaccine booster on December the 26th. Fell ill the middle of January, was admitted to the hospital, and died February 6th. And just boom, 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 all right in a row. And what was so hard about it at that time is because they weren't allowing visitors. And so he had to go through that experience alone. And, by the time we got to see him, he had already been intubated. And I was actually kind of sad. The VA told me that if I came down, they would let me see him, but they were going to intubate him. And that if I came down, they'd let me see him. And so I rushed, dropped everything I was doing. I'm 15 minutes from the VA hospital, and I jumped in my truck immediately. I raced down there to get a chance to see my dad before they intubated him. And when I got there, they had already intubated him. And so I never got to, have any of those conversations with him. I never got to share any of that with him. And so we fought with them and threatened them. And eventually we had him life flighted to Omaha VA in Omaha, Nebraska, thinking maybe we could get some better care up there. And he died shortly after. Okay, where are we at here? WA says, my mom went from being my stepdad caregiver in July to she is in her last days now. I typically call my mom every day. I don't know what I'm going to do without her. But what you're going to do is what she taught you. You know, what did she teach you to do? Right. But I know this is hard. I went through it, and I went through it just a little bit ago, you know, and there's no words that any of us can give you to make you feel any better, right? Because your relationship with your mom is your relationship with your mom. And, you know, you talk about talking to her every day, but, you know, don't focus on the bad of, you know, mom's going and all those things. Think of all the wonderful things you learned from her, and think about the relationship that you have, and celebrate her life every single day. Because I promise you, she wouldn't want you to be depressed. I promise you this is true. Any good mom, you know, and all of that. When I die, I hope that my kids remember me for what kind of man I was, and they celebrate all those funny, interesting moments, you know, and they don't worry about the, you know, the bad stuff. But Unique Prepping says Constitution says no taxation without representation. Yeah, I don't feel very represented, you know. I don't, you know. Homestead says I've been packing orders all evening. Well, that's good. That must mean your business is doing well, you know. I love that. Love that. We are testing out the Homestead general medical bag.
Yep.
As we speak.
Yep.
Dana says my predictions are 14 degrees. I know that's cold for you guys, but I'd love it to be 14 today. Absolutely would love it. Let me get down here. Good. Yep, one day at a time. There's a lot of truth in that, you know.
Yeah. I
do a lot of hand sewing leather projects and moccasins. Oh, cool. Moccasins are super cool. I'd love to see some of them. Prep Rebel Actual, if you can get me pictures of those, I would love to see some of those.
You just said that real fast.
I'm getting better. I'm getting better at it. Right? Okay, let me see. WA says, my heart goes out to Tag for your dad. It's all right. You know what? I think about him every day, but I really, guys, and I mean this is no facade in this. I really think about the cool things. I really do. I think about the day that B was over and my dad was working on a tractor, and he convinced her to look in a hose and then got gas.
He just asked me to help him.
Yeah. And she got gas all over her.
He floated in my face.
Yeah. Yeah, whatever. But I think of those moments, you know,
Diesel fuel.
Yeah. I think of all the weird stuff of, you know, seeing my dad come out of his wood shop covered in epoxy, you know, just stuff like that. Or my dad was a 3-tour Vietnam veteran and had won several Purple Hearts and a Bronze Star. So he was a very tough guy, but everywhere he went, he wore pink Crocs.
Yeah.
You know, those are the kind of things that I think about. Yeah, we will be praying for you, bud. It's been about a month for me now, WA. It takes time, but it gets a little bit better every day. Condolences. And I think, again, it's important. What do we focus on? Right? Because we control our view of the world, right? We control how we see everything. We control, we were talking about earlier about breaking a pump. We control how we deal with them, and we also control how we deal with death and how we deal with that. And, you know, I miss my dad tremendously. Like I said, there's not a single day that goes by that I don't think of him about one point in time, you know, somewhere in the day. But I'm going to choose to remember him for all the great that he was, and, you know, make sure that I get to pass on those things he gave me to my children. And hopefully they'll pass them on to their children, you know, so that's how he will live forever, you know. And so my goal is to make him live forever. Okay, what else you got? This is getting sad. What else you got?
Well, I got good news. We started standing pod 4.
Oh yeah, standing pod 4 is good.
Yeah, getting a little bit of sand, drywall dust in the rest of the house. That makes it look livable.
Yeah, I had someone tell me about a family who lived not far from us, who were unemployed and having a really hard time. And so I paid the boys, a couple of them, to come sand drywall all day long. And so the best part about the sanding that got done in pod 4 is
I don't have to do it. That is the best part.
Yeah.
They did a pretty good job. First time working with drywall mud, sanding.
Yeah.
But they did a good job. You know, when Tag goes in there and does the first coat, he puts it on like Tag.
Like a wood chipper.
So there's big chunks here, and sometimes he's like, hey, I gotta fill this gap, like make a wall here.
Yeah.
So
JB says, Tag, do you think our legislative or governor is really going to do anything about property tax relief? Isn't that mostly county controlled? No, that is state controlled. They set the rates of a lot of that stuff, or at least based upon what my county tells me every time I go bitch at them, they just blame the state. But it wouldn't surprise me if the state then just blames the feds and the feds just blame the states and we go round and round and round. But no, I don't think they're going to make any run at it because I don't think that they want to take the pay cut.
Oh.
Right? This is my opinion. Hackers Raw 54 says, my daughter always says memories are the best thing. They are.
Yeah.
They absolutely are. I lost my dad, my dog, and my dear wife in 1 year. Maybe the comes in 3 is over for me. I'm so sorry to hear that. So sorry. Leather says drywall dust can travel to the next county. Yes, it can.
It sure seems like it.
Yeah, but I really want to get pod 4 done. I really, really, really want to be over there. But we'll get there. Tag, mudding is definitely job security for the sander.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, you know what? It's funny is that it's weird how it works, but, we typically, me and B have a process we use. I'll do all the construction, I'll hang the drywall and all of those things. But if she can't get the stuff, I will begin to push into the things she does because I need it done.
Yeah.
So typically I wouldn't do the first coat of drywall. She would, or the first coat of mud. I'll get it hung.
Yeah.
Right. But she would go in and do it. But because she was wrapped up doing other things, harvesting, those kind of things, I put the first coat on.
Yes.
So.
And it's nice when the person that is putting the person that is sanding the first coat of drywall being the same person that puts the first coat of drywall mud on, because otherwise the person that puts the drywall mud on doesn't really care how much like overage there is because they're like, wow, somebody else is going to deal with it. Or, oh, I'll come back to that later. And then you don't. And then there's like a big blob. Or the corner is like chunky. And man, corners just, ugh. Just getting in there with the corner is just, yes, and there's corner blocks, but then it takes too much off of one side, not enough on the other side. It's just, and then the corner is like,
first world problems.
Yes, little wavy. I am no pro, that is for sure.
She does a good job. Here in Missouri, we have a bill going forward to actually get rid of personal property taxes. They collect about 4 times the taxes now that recreational has been passed. Fingers crossed. Guys, I've told my commissioner several times that I would agree to pay, 3 times, 4 times the sales tax rate, get rid of personal property tax, because it's the one thing that kind of keeps us from getting free. Love Road Ramps wants to know what's my email address. Here, I'll put it up there. Eagle Lover, thank you very, very much.
Good job.
Yep, I'll leave it up there for just a little bit.
On the ball.
Yeah, and you guys are welcome to email me, and I do my best to respond as fast as I can, to them, at least to the best of my ability.
Yeah, you're pretty good at it.
I try to. I think it's important to be responsive. So.
Yeah. Hey, did you see that we got we're finally over 7,000
We
subscribers?
did cross 7,000 subscribers. Pretty cool. We're like at 7,020, something like that. That's pretty cool.
It only took a year and a half, right?
Yep.
Have we been at this for a year and a half?
Yep.
Or has it been longer than that?
It's been about a year and a half.
Yeah.
Something like that.
So a year and a half got 7,000.
That's pretty cool.
Thank you all for coming.
Yeah, I don't mean this mean, but I don't.
I know
really
you
doesn't. It doesn't really motivate me much.
You're not here for subscribers. You're here to get the freedom word out.
Well, I'm here originally with the reason why I wanted to start the channel is because the world pissed me off, and I could give me a place to bitch.
Complain.
Yeah. Have you ever sanded a drywall with a sponge? Works well and is dust free.
A wet sponge?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Does it then leave a texture?
No, it would sand it fine, but what you're going to have is instead of the dust, you'll have mud. Right? You'll have mud dripping off of the sponge.
Oh, it's like wet.
Yeah, you're going to have, it's kind of wet, yeah. Yep.
No, I have not. I've just dry sanded because.
Okay, what's next?
Then could you reuse it if it's wet?
I don't know, probably.
Because it's just wet joint compound.
Right, maybe.
Stick it in another crack.
Leave it to my wife to want to reuse the dripping.
Can I reuse drippy?
Oh my God.
Well, instead of just dumping it down the drain or throwing it outside or back of a dam or whatever you do with it, you You don't want that in your
No.
septic,
It says
right?
use a damp sponge, but not too wet.
Huh.
Yeah. So what's next? All right, guys. So Tuesday at, I think, about noon, I'm on a live with Nicole Sauce from Living Free in Tennessee and John from Special Operations Equipment. And then Thursday night at 7 p.m., I've been invited to be on a roundtable with Unique Prepping and Ghetto, and I'm super excited about that too. This is all coming up this next week, so just so you guys know.
You've got a lot going on.
Just two. It's not bad. It'd be fun.
Along with all the other
stuff I got going on. Yeah, it'll be a good break in the craziness, you know. You see, it moistens the drywall dust so it doesn't float in the air so bad.
And it does.
Rabbit says, try it. You'll like it. So, okay, what's anything else on your list? You want me to get on
Go
something?
ahead.
You want me to go something? All right, let's talk about some stuff going on in the news, huh? See what we got going on today. So I think I showed you guys this last week, but I brought it up again on purpose. So surge in vaccine lawsuits forces Biden administration to hire more attorneys. So because they're getting more and more vaccine injury lawsuits that are being filed, right? But I found it fascinating that then today Fauci admits social distancing was not based on science. It just sort of appeared.
Great.
Now this actually, guys, I want to give some credit. I got sent this by Mo. But guys, I searched for this. This was hard to find.
It says it was on Fox News.
Yeah, but it was buried. It wasn't anywhere up front. I didn't see it on any of the other ones. But Dr. Fauci, the public face of the U.S. coronavirus pandemic response, told lawmakers this week that the social distancing recommendations forced on Americans sort of just appeared and were likely not based on any scientific data. Fauci, 83, made the startling revelation in a closed-door interview with the House Select Committee on Coronavirus Pandemic, where he also testified that the lab leak hypothesis, which was often suppressed, was not a conspiracy theory, and that the policies and mandates he promoted may increase vaccine hesitancy in the future. Committee Chair Brad Westrup, Republican from Ohio, wrote in a statement on Wednesday. Hey, Spags, what's up, bud?
He's 83.
Yeah, he's 83. But what's so fascinating about this is, so let's just take them at his own words, right? Which is that it sort of just happened and were likely not based on scientific data. So how many businesses out there had to close because of social distancing?
Yeah.
How many people lost their entire lifeline or their livelihood
Schools.
because of social distancing?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, my sister's in here who owns a restaurant, and I know it had a huge impact on them. And now they're talking about how it had, really wasn't based in the science and they just kind of made it up. Guys, they don't give two shits about anybody.
It just sort of appeared.
It just sort of appeared. Give me a break. I mean, if this doesn't make you mad, I mean, guys, they gambled and just threw away people's life savings and their everything they put everything into in an attempt, right? Because, well, it just sort of appeared. Absolutely ridiculous. People forget that Fauci policy bled to thousands of deaths in the gay community during the 80s with HIV. Politics aside, he is a liar with a track record of bad policy. 100% agree.
I recently have heard about that.
Yeah.
I didn't know of his past.
Yeah, but there's more coming out, guys, every single day about this. And I think we're going to see a whole whirlwind come out about this. But I think you're going to see some other things happen to cover this up. And I'll explain as we go on. And this I also shared with you guys last week. But now our public health poobahs tell us that the COVID approach was narrow-minded. Okay, so they're admitting now that the whole COVID approach is narrow-minded. They're admitting that the social distancing was just kind of happened. And again, think of all the livelihoods that were lost. And now a whole bunch more comes out. There's a lot of this you haven't even seen yet.
Yeah.
So with the attorneys that represent the ICANN have won a huge case for transparency around COVID vaccine injuries. A Texas judge has ruled that the CDC must produce 7.8 million free text field entries in the V-Safe reporting app, which they had previously omitted from a production that they were supposed to produce to ICANN back in September of 2022. These entries are highly significant because they represent accounts of the victim's injuries in their own words rather than simply checking a box. The CDC must provide 390,000 entries a month starting February the 15th and every month thereafter for an entire year. The productions will be available to download and view at icandecide.org. So anyway, again, more and more of these things are coming out, right, in reference to COVID. This one was interesting too. More than half suspect COVID-19 vaccines have caused death. The majority of Americans, this is from Politico, I think, if I remember right, but the majority of Americans believe COVID-19 vaccines have may be to blame for many unexpected deaths. Nearly 1 in 4 say someone they know could be among the victims. In the latest Rasmussen reports, national telephone and online survey finds that 53% of American adults believe that it's likely that the side effects of COVID-19 vaccines have caused a significant number of unexplained deaths. And so I just think it's super fascinating that this stuff, you know, just continues to come out and continues to come out. And guys, I'm going to tell you, there's more coming, but they have to hide it. And so we're going to talk about exactly how.
You think they're hiding it because of the election?
Oh, watch. There's all kinds of stuff they're going to hide right here. Daughter took a jab to keep her job, then got cancer. And I've heard this. Tag, did you see the Department of Defense recruiting numbers are so bad that they're approaching servicemen and women who are discharged over the jab trying to get it back? I did see that. Actually, there's a huge decline in white recruits also. That they was an article that came out today that talked about that. And this stuff actually gives me hope. Everybody, this is not a super bad thing. You know, I mean, it's bad that people died, but I'm going to tell you, COVID was a gigantic blessing to me. And I can say that even though I lost my father to COVID, without COVID, I wouldn't be on the fight that I'm on today. Right. Because I didn't have the courage to do it on my own. I needed something to smack me upside the face.
Well, yeah, did too.
And it did. And it got me, you know, kind of where I am. Lover of Rampant said it's called turbo cancer now. So sad. Studies are bad. There's a lot of this coming out, guys, and it's becoming more and more. It is. It's coming up super, super quick. There's a lot they didn't understand about the vaccine, and they just pushed it anyway. But I'll get back to this because I think this is a very important story that's going to come out more, and they're going to need to cover it. And there's a lot of ways they're going to go about doing that. We'll talk about that. But next one I want to talk about is something super cool happened. I think when we talk about hope, right, and people taking a stand and fighting back on Texas, and of course Texas, right? God love Texas, right? So today I read an article, and this was I must have cut off the headline, but anyway, what this article was about was the Texas National Guard has blocked off parts of the border and are not allowing the border agents in.
Not allowing the agents in.
The federal agents from Border Patrol, the Texas National Guard, are saying no, because the federal agents are allowing
the crossing
of the border based on what the Biden administration wants. And this is not a pro or negative immigration debate. I think, in fact, the immigration system is one of them that absolutely needs to be rebuilt. And I know some illegal immigrants, who are just doing their best to feed their family. So this isn't about that. What this is about is the Texas National Guard kicked the feds out.
Yeah.
In this particular park. And I found that was super, super, super interesting. Leather says lots of, sorry, I thought I had leather on. There we go. Oh,
Eagle art.
Sorry. Do you hear they may lower the ASVAB to 30 to pass? Yeah. Isn't that funny? Just change the rules.
Yeah, leather was 2 up.
Yeah. Hubby Zan has developed several conditions after getting the jab. Yeah. Lots of heart problems in young people. Yeah. There are also what's that word, baby? Thalidomide resurgence of use in Central and South America in the 80s, even though it was blamed or banned in the USA in 1961. Dirty and greedy pharma folks. Yep. Didn't they just push the vaccine in many cases? And in the opinion of many, they forced it. Well, yeah, they were giving away cars and money and
donuts,
all kinds of stuff, Yeah, just, man, I can't even believe that. Let me see. Here we go. They took back control of a big park for staging. Yeah. Praise the Lord for the Texas National Guard. I think this is awesome. I mean, I think it's very, very clear that any power not specifically given to the federal government is supposed to lie in the hands of the state. And the state jurisdiction should trump the feds in every case, right? State jurisdiction by feds, right? I think this is absolutely wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. We lost my aunt last year to the juice. Cancer came back with awe. With a vengeance. Yeah. Texas took over Eagle Pass, a high volume crossing. Yeah, and they're just trying to secure their borders, right? And guys, I'm going to tell you something. I have absolutely zero problem if someone who wants to come into this country and work hard and be productive, and I think they should have a path to make that happen.
Yeah.
I just do. But it's also
the path is hard.
The path they make it impossible. Well, it's just like
not impossible. I know somebody that went through the entire thing, but
maybe not impossible, but it's very hard.
It is very hard.
It's no different than the fight though that we're on every single day, babe. I mean, it's the fight for freedom and the fight for all those. The system's designed to make you discouraged. Yeah. The system's designed to make you question it and look back and question your decisions. And the system's designed. So, I mean, these systems need rebuilt on a huge scale. I mean, the justice system needs rebuilt. The legislative system needs rebuilt. It all just needs rebuilt. Yeah, Daniel Redding says the 10th Amendment for the win. Yeah, feds kept cutting the wire and letting people in the park, so they went in with armed guards, and the razor wire will so it ceases. Yeah. Oh my goodness, look at this. Yes, and there was. Oh, I must have missed a comment up above. Sorry, guys. Let me see. If we have to have a state, it should be based on the lowest levels possible. If we have to have a state, it should be based on the lowest levels possible. State is greater than Fed, 100%. Yep. Yeah. Let me see here. The park was being used to stage illegals. Yeah. Yeah, we knew that. But I just think, as far as for Texas, that's just pretty awesome.
That they're trying to stop it.
They are trying to stop it. Yeah, and I think that's awesome. This one was interesting, too. I don't know if you guys had seen this in the news today. But so there was a Brooklyn public school that began displaying maps that no longer show Israel on the map.
Wow.
Yeah, which I found super interesting. So Qatar-funded map given to Brooklyn Public School does no longer shows Israel. So where Israel was, and I read this article, it just says Palestine now. And in that interesting timing, right, with everything that's going on overseas. And so, we got to be careful what our kids are being taught, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Marak says, oh my, yeah. I think this is absolutely interesting. This is propaganda. Ways. I was asked by a good friend of mine when I thought the war would start. And and I know what he was asking. He was really asking about tanks rolling across the border. But the fact is, we've been at war for a long, long time. This is an enemy strike of battle right here.
Yeah.
Right. And so is so many other things, So,
and they're doing it behind the scenes. They're doing it to the children. They're doing it to the change, the history.
That's right. Prep Rebel Actual said, I lost my best friend and 2 family members to the jab. Yeah. How are they allowed to pass that out? I don't know how that gets through. I have no idea. But guys, this is just absolute propaganda. See, Bobby says, yeah, my dad was in the VA. This is Jeff on here. Okay, got it. This is my brother-in-law, Jeff. So my dad was in the VA in Temple during the pandemic. He could see him. We could see him because he didn't understand why I was waving at him from outside, and he would fight the nurses and everyone. See, and how sad is that?
Because he didn't understand why his son was looking at him through the window.
Yeah, and why he wasn't coming in, and why he was just, staying outside,
Sheesh. Well, because he didn't understand. He had little dementia, and you don't understand. And then, of course, they're going to start fighting. They don't.
Yeah. Guys, the COVID Holocaust is we're just at the beginning of it all coming out. Right? And we're just at the beginning. Let me see here. Love runs rampant, says Israel will never be gone just saying the Bible. Never, maybe. Let me see. Where am I at here? I don't know where I'm at. I'll just start going. Okay, so when the system fails, they take us to war. Pigs. Oh, 100%. And then they're going to take us to war anytime they want to hide anything, right? And there are all kinds of stuff going on right now behind the scenes when all kinds of stuff are going on in the front, right? I mean, it's interesting. Go look at all the headlines from all the news channels, and there's a lot they're not talking about, you know? Yeah, our public school system's at work. The war has already started. Yeah, well, there you go. Dan Redding saying hi to Jeff. So Dan Redding and my brother-in-law, Jeff, who is on there, that we used to hang out all the time when we were young. It was just super, super cool. And it's cool to have him here. Yeah, hence why we have history books in our homes. Well, and also why you get involved with your kids and you tell them why this is BS, right?
Yeah, but how would you know that map is up in their school, in their classroom? You wouldn't see that.
No, but it got leaked right here. So now what do parents do right now? Do we just say, oh, okay, and sit back? Or do you get up and you walk your kids into the school?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing, guys. You can sit back and bitch and all that all you want, but if you're not willing to do your part plus a little bit. Remember, I asked you guys 2 lives ago, what did you do in 2023 to push the movement of freedom outside your own existence? And if the answer is nothing, then you can't blame them for shit like this. What do you say? Yes, should have been there today, but it was, I must be in the middle of a conversation. Yep, 100% just the beginning. Yep, I am legendary unvaxxed. Yep, for sure. Guys, but I'm really thinking that this, and I love how they worded it. Someone had worded it to me as the COVID Holocaust.
Yeah.
Because they're going to come out and they're going to start talking about how many hundreds of thousands of deaths. And I was listening to Dr. I'm trying to remember his name, but anyway, he was talking about how that they're estimating now that 14 million people worldwide and 600,000 people have died in the United States based upon the vaccine injury now.
Really?
Yeah. And that those numbers are going to come out more and more and more and more and more. Oh, I'm falling behind.
Wow.
Hey, batshit crazy. What's up? Yeah. Some of you all need some history lessons, Big B said. Let me see here. Yep, run to school, Yoda. That I could not agree more, right? Hey, Hilltop, how are you? No, you ain't late. You're on time. Even if we get out of here, it's all good. I'm glad you're here. I heard this morning that Maine has banned chemtrails. Oh, I would love to read that. Stan, if you can tell me where I can find that. I mean, I can Google Maine and see if I can come up with that, but that's great news if that's the case.
Yeah.
See what else we got
here. Did you hear about the what is it? I forgot what the water they were calling it. It's like not purity water, but something like that, where it was, if you could see those in the sky, they're stopping your water from underneath. It's the controlling of what's going on here is.
Well, chemtrails are very, very real. I mean, this is not conspiracy theory anymore.
No,
they've been controlling the weather for a long, long time.
Right. Well, they have proof that it's affecting the natural, not flow, but the natural supply of the deep water of the earth. You didn't hear anything about that?
I didn't.
I'll show you a video later that.
Oh, I read this. Tulip Little Angel says Pfizer's buying a company that specializes in treating triple cancers. Of course they are.
In treating it.
Yes. When they're the ones that
cause it.
Problem and make money from the fix. Yep. It's just insane how this all works. You know, I don't understand how our food supply ingredients have been allowed to put certain chemicals in our food because it's about money. They don't care about you.
Well, those exact chemicals are banned in other countries.
I wonder how banning chemicals works when the Fed owns the airways. Yeah. Oh, truly believe we are in the Jim Jones Kool-Aid world. You know who Jim Jones is?
Drinking the Kool-Aid.
Yeah. Had to talk to my mom through her nursing home window. Really stupid mother-in-law is isolated in her nursing home now as the sea is going around again. So sad.
So now she's isolated.
Okay, Stan says I heard it on Channel 6 in Tulsa. All right, I'll look it up. New Hampshire's trying to ban chemtrails. I love that. We need to get that on the ballot here in Texas. Oh yeah, they could. One more rock. You're so smart. They could work on a vaccine for cancer. Did you guys see that look? All right, what else we got?
Do some more.
Oh, you guys know what this list is?
Well, the very first name on there tells you what it is.
Yep, this is the 90 names that were released in the first dump of the Epstein list.
Geez, how many are there? This
Or
is the
90.
first 90.
It's the first 90. Now, some of them are redacted, as you can see.
Yeah,
there.
redacted.
But there's some names in here, Bill Clinton, right? But what's interesting, I want you guys to be very careful, right? I'm very, very careful casting blame right here, because I'm going to tell you something. I read into this further, and you'll see down here, there on the last 5 or 6 down on the last list is Mr. Donald Trump.
Yeah.
Okay, so these are people who were listed on it. And so I went and dug in this further. And where Donald Trump's name is brought up is in the actual cross-examination of one of the girls who was the sex slave. Okay. And they asked her if Donald Trump had ever participated, and she said no. But because he was mentioned, right? And so this is the way they do that, right? Is they're just trying to get him included in this circle. Even though Giselle Maxwell and one of the actual sex workers that were involved in it both said Trump had nothing to do with it. So just because his name's on this list, I would not cast any kind of, judgment over it. But I do think it's interesting that some of the names, Kate Blanchett, interesting, right? Who's some other really interesting? Naomi Campbell is on there. Bill Clinton, David Copperfield, Cameron Diaz. Yep. Let me see here. There's a few more. Al Gore. There was another one. Stephen Hawking. That's interesting. George Lucas. Joe Pagano. That was a football coach.
Was Michael Jackson on this list? Because I heard
he is on this list somewhere right there. Yeah.
Because I heard that he actually did not go to the island, but they had met in a New York office somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Leonardo DiCaprio, Bruce Willis, Kevin Spacey, Andrew Albert Christensen Edwards, the Duke of York. Yeah, how is Epstein on his own list? Yeah, I don't know. Great question.
Is he on there?
It's because he was named in it, I guess. So there wasn't actually a list, or at least not to my knowledge, there wasn't actually a list that was released. These are the people names who came up in court, right? And I read a lot of the testimony of the witnesses, and particularly a couple of these young girls who witnessed it. Like they asked them specifically, was Bill Clinton involved in sex trade at Epstein's Island? And they said yes. They kept asking those questions, but I would absolutely, if I was you guys, go read it. I think it is super fascinating, but this is going to get rushed right underneath the rug. You watch.
I wonder how come there's 4 redacted then.
Because they don't want you to know who that is.
Why even put it out there then?
Yeah.
Because
the only reason they would redact that is in case of national security. Right? I don't see any other reason. Remember that many rich people who didn't know who Epstein was were courted by Epstein in an attempt to get dirt on them. Many people flew who never participated. Yeah, that's why I wanted to make sure I said that the testimony that I read said that Bill Clinton participated, but it also said that Al Gore did not. And it also said that Donald Trump did not. And so, anyway, I find it super, super fascinating. Yeah, one more rock says, I think Epstein is sitting on an island drinking an umbrella drink. Well, I think one thing you and I can both agree is he did not hang himself. That's supposed to be funny.
Yeah.
Bill Richardson used to be governor of New Mexico. That's how Epstein acquired his ranch here. Let me see here. This is another huge witch hunt. Yeah. I read an article that Trump kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago for inappropriate approaching an underage girl. I would believe it. This is why it was really important that I said to you guys that, let me see, the victims' names could be on this list and redacted. Oh, good point, JB. Super good point. Super, super, super good point. Yep, Camber also don't think he's dead. But anyway, I thought this was interesting because this is going on in the news right now, right? What else?
Yes.
Oh, so here's my joke that Mo, I told you guys I was going to share a joke with you guys. So my buddy Mo sent this to me today. And it says 2024 New Year's prediction number 36. So the gentleman says, regardless of the outcome in the November elections, the losing side will claim it was rigged and the winner is legitimate. And the lady says, however, before knowing the outcome, it is impossible to predict if these claims will be treated by the media as a patriotic resistance or a threat to democracy.
Yep.
So,
yep.
Yeah. Can you put a link to the story? You talking about the Epstein story? Which story are you talking about? Preparable actual? Let me know what you're talking about.
Preparable.
Yeah, that one's hard to say. This is kind of what I was talking about earlier, was that I think it's interesting that the Epstein list starts to come out, right? And the House, I think I'll post this later, but anyway, so one example of some of the things that are going on. Also, Hunter Biden's laptop stuff's starting to come out now. And boom, Tomahawks and Typhoons and a monster sub, the weapons the U.S. and UK used to strike the Houthis. So we struck over in Syria. So the America, this is the first real set of battles. So we've started launching missiles into Syria, right? And I think it's super interesting timing, you know.
When was this?
Good night, Spags. This is just in the last couple of days, babe. This is all going on right now. Every article I post typically is one that I found from today or yesterday. You know, I try to stay in them. But all behind the scenes, congressional negotiators reached agreement on a $1.6 trillion government spending.
Oh my God.
At the exact same time, right? But whatever it goes, guys, I'm telling you, go look up the news, CNN and all of them. It's all talking about us bombing the Houthis and getting involved in the war. And you don't see these kinds of stuff.
There's a sleight of hand.
Yeah, it's the same thing with the whole thing about Dr. Fauci and the, 6 foot distancing stuff. This is all coming out in little leaked articles behind the scenes.
Yes.
But what you're seeing on the front, is all this other stuff. Yeah. Imagine what people in 1,000 years will think of us, provided humans will survive. Yes. The Houthis are in
Yemen.
Oh, Epstein. Yeah. There's a ton of articles, but all you got to do is Google Epstein's list, and there's a ton of articles out there. I just fumbled through a bunch of them to try to find them, but yeah, there's a ton. Just Google Epstein's leaked list. Let me see here. Well, we Americans have the attention span of goldfish. I think you're giving us more credit than we deserve. Things getting worse come November. Change. Oh, there's definitely going to be change. We can agree with that. The question is really what kind of change, huh? Hey, good news, something to be positive about. So the Democrats say Obamacare sign-ups surged 20 million days before enrollment closed. So this year, 20 million new people have signed up. This is the biggest number ever since the initial enrollment.
Yeah.
And the Democrats are going to campaign on this, you guys, right? They're going to promise you. They're going to go out there and they're going to talk about how wonderful this is.
It's helping everybody.
It's helping everybody
over 20
out.
million people.
But the question has to be asked. Why would 20 million new people sign up for Obamacare?
Just days before.
Yeah, why would that happen? Because they can't afford it somewhere else? Because they got laid off? It's hard to tell, but I think it's interesting that according to Fox News, nearly 30% of Americans are behind on their debt payments in large metro areas. American households racked up a record $17.29 trillion in debt last year, driven by mortgage, credit card, and student loan balances. According to the latest numbers from the Federal Reserve Bank of New York, now fresh data indicates an alarming high percentage of consumers beginning to fall behind on their payments at the same time. A new study released by LendingTree found that 29.6% of residents in the nation's 100 largest metro areas were behind on at least one debt payment during the third quarter of 2023, and 27.3% had serious delinquencies that were over 90 days past due or more. More than a quarter, 26.2%, had debt in collections. Right? So I think it's super interesting, right? That, again, going back, we're celebrating for the Affordable Care Act as all of these things happen. This means this is literally 1 in 4.
That was probably
This is significant, right? And look, this is a new article. This is January 11th, right? Today's the 12th. I mean, this is not. I think nothing's a coincidence. That's what I think.
You suppose those 20 million people are the people that they let across the border?
Well, see, there you go. That's another possible scenario. Maybe this is the increase in all of the people. I didn't consider that. Good job.
I read it from Hippocrates.
Oh. Well, I was giving her. You should have just let me give you the credit for it. You know, you make something for a water pump.
Where credit's due.
You know, very well could be, but I find all this stuff super fascinating. Oh, let's remove that out of there. We'll get to that later.
He looked familiar.
Yeah, well, it's just a quote I was going to share at the end. So just a really super interesting story to all of that. Likely illegals. Yeah, and the feds stayed up, but they'll campaign on it. I'll guarantee you that. Right. And I think it's interesting how Trump's, they're attempting to remove him from ballots, all over. And you guys know this. I'm not a Trump fan. I think we can do much better than Trump for a president. But I'd take him a million times over, what that one lady called?
Oh, I don't remember.
Oh, that was great.
Something potato head.
No, meat puppet. Some kind of meat puppet, I think is what she referred to him as. The potato head meat puppet or something. Anyway, it was super funny. I don't remember. But it was super, super good. But yes, there's a lot going on out there. And, I think we've got to keep our head on a swivel because what you see on TV and what's going on is just absolutely not what's happening. I can find out. I mean, it isn't hard, guys. I get up here and start digging. I'm like, oh, my gosh. Just like the Pfizer buying the company that treats advanced cancer.
It does not surprise me.
After having the vaccine. I mean, how ridiculous is that? And we just sit here and
we're going to force them to take it.
Yeah.
And then we'll give them the cure.
Yeah. Yeah, let me see here. Trump is a Second Amendment traitor. I actually agree with that, Johnny. I would not disagree with that one bit. At the end of the day, though, Trump did more for this country than Biden ever did. And we were in a better situation when Trump was in office. But again, you guys cannot tell me that Joseph Biden and Donald Trump is the best America has to offer. I mean, man. I just can't think that that's the absolute best we have. But again, if I had to vote today, I would vote Trump. And because the potato head meat puppet or whatever.
Well, you would vote for Trump, but everybody else in the world is going to vote for the mummified meat puppet.
Oh, that's what it was. Mummified meat puppet. There
because, he is the most popular president in the world. Yeah. Farm, ranch, homestead.
Yeah. It says, have you seen Trump's new campaign called Senior Living? I have not. Yeah, I have not. Preparable Action says, you two are so fun to watch. I'm glad I was director channel. Well, thank you very much. We try to have a lot of fun because what's the alternative, right?
Yeah. You can live in the suck.
Yep. Johnny says, true. Trump did more supporting of Fauci than Biden did.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't agree with that. I think they both did a ton of supporting. And Johnny, I'm not a Trump fan, but I'm talking about economics. I'm talking about unemployment. I'm talking about Trump did more than Biden did. Trump did more than Obama did, in my opinion. But we have to have more. There's got to be more to offer the American people from leadership than Donald Trump or Joseph Biden, in my opinion. Because Ross says, after doing to Trump, do you think anyone else could stand a chance? No, I don't. I don't think Biden was the most successful president, most popular president in the history of the world. And I think they absolutely cheated last time, and I think they're absolutely going to do it again. And I have very little hope that there's a political solution to any of our problems at a federal level. How's that? Should I not have said that?
No.
You're okay with me saying that?
Yep.
Space station experiments is blowing my mind right now. They will be the next big thing, printing organs like lab meat. There's a lot of that stuff. I learned the other day that the number one source of sodium in our diet today is chicken. Chicken.
How's that?
Because they inject
lunch meat? Oh.
They inject the chickens, right?
Yeah, they do.
With sodium. And so
Salt water. Yep.
Crazy.
Well, because they preserve, that's a preserving. Yep. So, yeah.
See, the VA is being forced to give illegals medical care while veterans suffer to get it. Yeah, that. Oh, there you go. The mummified meat puppet. Yeah, that. And, hey, Chase Peoples, what's up, bud? Yeah, Leather says, Homestead says, you want a snake bite or a stick in the eye? Right. Which kind of snake? Well, it matters. Because if you're talking about
who's poking me in the eye.
If it's a garter snake, I'd rather have the garter snake bite. But if it's black mamba, I want the stick in the eye. Yeah. Let me see here. I'm not a political fan. Zero, none. Yeah, I'm not either. And I think it's crazy that we've been convinced that the two-party system is our only option. There's got to be something better. You know, I mean, this is just absolute insanity that you can. Yeah, I've told you guys this a million times on the channel, but there's a video on YouTube called The Jones Plantation, and you got to watch it because it explains the two-party system in a way that is super simple for everybody to understand, and it makes a clear picture. But basically, it's about a whole bunch of slaves, and they're upset at their slave owner. And they're bitching. And so the slave owner gets smart and says, okay, I'm going to give you guys an election. Here's my cousin. He's another slave owner. And you get to vote on which one you want. And
yeah,
so
you
they
can go be with him.
Yeah, they have an election. Every year they have an election and nothing ever changes because they're slave lords. Yeah. Anyway, let me see what Bobby say here. Yeah, I wonder. Oh, this is Dan. Jeff, I'm sorry. It says, yeah, I'm worried that that wrong, but you're right, B. He didn't understand what was wrong. Why would I not come in? Saddest thing I've been around so far. Yeah, how sad is that? Yeah, super, super. Yeah, Johnny says, tag, I watched it. It's awesome. Yeah, I think it describes it perfectly. And I think we need to absolutely get out of the two-party system. And in fact, I think we could do more damage by every one of us getting together at the presidential election and voting for Mickey Mouse. I do. Could you imagine if 3 million people voted for Mickey Mouse? Or you pick something else, Thomas Jefferson. Just pick one. Pick something that could never actually get elected to show your displeasure. You know how like one sign of disrespect is when someone's talking to you, you turn your back to them?
Yeah.
It's kind of doing that. It's kind of saying we no longer have faith in the process.
Yeah.
Right? And so it wouldn't work if we're all doing different things. But if you get enough organization together to say, hey, we're all going to vote for John Wayne.
John Jr.
Whatever. Well, no, got to be careful. There's probably a lot of John Jr.'s out there. We've got to come up with something that.
Oh, I meant JFK Jr.
Oh, yeah. Or there you go.
You know,
yeah, I mean.
still alive.
Right. John Wick. There you go. Like this is what I'm talking about right here. John Wick for 2024. I don't care who it is or what it is. The point is, if you could get everybody to do it, you could make a statement that we no longer have faith, and it would be a vote of no confidence. Remember in Star Wars when they huddle around and they have that vote of no confidence to replace the leadership, right? So Disney is evil and satanic. You know, Eagle, I don't know this or not. Did you know that they put ABC up for sale? Disney owns ABC. And they put ABC up for sale because of the problems. I'm assuming it's because of all of the negative stuff that's come off The View with Whoopi Goldberg and all that, who's part of ABC. Right? I think it has to do with that, but I can't tell you that for sure. But they did put ABC up for sale. Oh, Pack Rat, I love your wife. Let's everybody vote for John Galt. Yes. Yes. Everybody needs to go on a campaign to vote for John Galt. That is a winner chicken dinner. Yeah, you need to at least vote against evil. Well, they're all evil's the problem. Leather, I don't say nobody. I would be hard pressed to be convinced that Trump also isn't evil. He may not be as evil. And again, I think he did way more for the American people than Biden or Obama did, or probably combined. But at the end of the day, I do not think that's the solution either. I'm voting John Galt. On John Galt. Yep. Yep. Jesse Ventura said to write in nobody. See, but I think John Galt's even better because there's a whole story behind that. Right? Gregory said, I'd rather vote for my dog. Yep. Thomas Jefferson. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Preparable actual. I apologize. Mickey Mouse went woke. Just saying. Yeah. I think John Galt's the answer. Oh, WA says vote for Pedro. That would actually be funny, too.
Isn't that the movie? What is that?
Napoleon Dynamite.
Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah. The plan to utilize leafy greens and distribute the vax is still on the table. It will more important to grow your own than ever before. Could not agree more. Vicky Pullen says tag for president and B would be beautiful. They would kick me out the first day. Which, speaking of being kicked out, just so I share with you guys, B's laughing at me because I wanted to bring this up. I got my official rejection letter from the county as I applied to be part of their whole tax committee. But they thank me for applying, but they have chosen other candidates.
Yeah.
I got my official rejection letter. How cool is that? I'm so proud. I've been rejected.
You'll have to pick a different spot.
Oh, I'm just going to vote. I think we should just start writing John Galt in every position. The state level, the governor, John Galt. Secretary of State, John Galt. Everybody just John Galt.
See if that hits the news.
Yeah. Well, it will. If the thing is, that's right, Tim. You're 100% right. Where is he at here? John Galt would say a lot. John Galt would say a ton. Would absolutely say a ton. I really, really like that. I used to love Dolly, but she has done the cover eye, and she's one of them. Yep.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not wasting my vote on a write-in. That might be fine, but that must mean you still have hope, and I'm glad you have hope because somebody has to. But I'm telling you, I do not think. I do not.
You don't think that they're going to count them?
I just don't think there's a political solution to the federal problem. We keep trying to think that we can vote in the lesser of two evils and that something's going to change. And look at the national debt, you guys. Go back and track the national debt. Is it a Democratic issue? Or is it a Republican issue? It's both.
Or is it an issue?
That's what I'm saying. It's both. It's never fixed. We've been talking about illegal immigration tonight. Is it a Republican issue? Or is it a Democrat issue? It's a Republican issue. They just keep bouncing us around. Are we not going to wars anymore? I mean, the Democrats do it. The Republicans do it. We've got to quit being convinced that we can go and vote the lesser of two evils and have some kind of solution. Eagle Lover, I respect your opinion. I expect your position. You go knock yourself out. But I'm telling you, I do not believe there is any political solution to the problem that's going on at the federal level. Search is life done, and YouTube also filled the rest. Algorithm is noticing you. Well, that's cool, I think. Yeah. You could vote Ted Nugent, but what if you actually got him? That would be the only problem. Maybe not a problem. B would be the first lady that actually looked like a biological female. Let me see. I'm so surprised. I'm dying from not surprised. Rejection letter. I know, right? I got a rejection letter. I'm so excited about this. You know, Parker says you can't write in Arkansas. Of course you can't. They want you to vote for the two. Tag can't even get on the local council. Laugh out loud. They don't want anyone going against their plans. We know it's funny when we were in there and they were interviewing me. They asked me how I felt about property tax. That was probably the end right there because I told them. Thank you, your name here, for your interest in joining the government. We have a special role for you instead. They did say they had something else in mind for me, but I'm telling you, I am not going to participate in feeding the beast. I'm only going to participate in starving him. Yeah, I was not woke enough. Miley says, tag, appeal it. Yeah, that's hilarious. Yeah, no, I think it's great. I want to put this letter on the wall, actually.
Appeal it.
But you guys want to know why I applied for it? I don't know if I ever told you guys this. Last time I was at the county commissioner's office bitching at them about property taxes, ironically, they told me that if I want to make a change to get involved. So I said, fine. So the next thing that came up that they needed somebody for, which happened to be for the tax committee, right? I went there and I attempted to get involved. So guess what's going to come out of my mouth at the next county commissioner meeting? You said that if I wanted to make a change, get involved, and yet you don't want the change. So which one is it?
Well, I'm sure that they're going to say that they had lots of other candidates and that they had another position for you, but you chose not to take it.
Yeah. And I'll give them the feed the beast versus starve the beast. I will. Blah, 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 blah. MJ in Wisconsin, good night to you. If everyone checks out like that, the Dems will always win. They're winning now. Tell me what the difference is between any of them. Were we more free under Trump or Bush or Clinton? I mean, I don't see the difference. All we're doing is playing the game. It's just like going to the Capitol building to protest. We want our rights, and then they go back to the building and say, "See, democracy works." And right back to what they're doing. Our national debt has done nothing but climb and climb and climb under both Republican and Democrat offices. You know, the drug problems have continued to get worse, both under Republican and Democrat offices. I don't see how it matters. Just saying, I don't. Now, Leather, totally respect you, brother. Leather's a good man, and I get it, and I'm glad there's people out there with hope. But unfortunately, I do not have any that there's a political solution to the federal problem. Prep Rebel said he'd vote for me. You might be the only one. Yeah. Scanes Girl says, isn't that the definition of insanity? That's right. It's absolutely right. All we do is justify the system. All we do is confirm that it's the correct system. All we're doing is participating in their game. Mike Tubar says, so what happens when nobody wins? Nobody's winning now.
You know who that is, right?
Mm-hmm. I do. I mean, nobody's winning now, right?
Nobody's winning.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. So I don't know. I mean, what does happen if, I mean, obviously somebody's going to win because someone's going to vote for somebody. Not everybody in the country is going to vote for John Galt, although I love that idea.
That is a good idea.
I need to print some John Galt for president t-shirts. And see if I can get 35 people to vote for John Galt.
Why 35?
I'm just saying I could never get enough people to make a difference. Right. But I do not believe that. Let me back up, guys. I believe that Trump won the last election. And you cannot convince me that Biden received more votes than any other president in history. So I think it's all rigged anyway. So I think it's crazy to think that your vote for president is going to matter in any way. The Democrats are going to win if they decide the Democrats are going to win. And the Republicans are going to win if they decide it's the Republicans' turn to win. And together the Republicrats sit behind the scene on Epstein's Island having a cocktail laughing at you dumbasses. Ha ha ha, you know? Sorry, I'm being negative. I love you all. Yes, you are. I love you all. I respect your opinions, but I adamantly disagree that we can make any difference on that. Dragonfly Ryan says, evening, everybody. Starting at the beginning right now. Hope you all are staying warm. Yeah, it's not bad. We're good. They're both playing games just like they always do. I know. Yeah. It's so depressing, too. Yeah. I want to believe that there's some for good. I really do. But there's just nothing you can point to me that says that anybody's looking out for the American people. I mean, it isn't. You can't tell me that it's in America's best interest to send $400 billion to the Ukraine while we have homeless veterans on the street. You just can't tell me that. You can't tell me that, we're, forgiving all of the student loan debt for all the degrees that don't frickin' matter, and yet we're not forgiving them for the trade schools, which are the backbone of what builds this country. I mean, you can't tell me that they give a shit when they tell you social distancing never really mattered, even though tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of businesses lost their livelihood because trust the science. And then there wasn't any.
They did say that.
They did. 2 weeks to flatten the curve. They don't give a shit about you. And that was both Trump and Biden. Sorry, I'm totally.
Oh, there's that.
I'm totally ranting. Love you guys. Totally love you guys. With our politicians and bringing back regular citizens, they spend their time and then they go back to their regular jobs. Because we need to clean out the swamp. This is actually my biggest knock on Trump. Is he said he would, he didn't.
Well, I think it's because he's still trying. I think I think he tried. I think he tried and he got railroaded and kicked to the side, and then.
So what you're saying is the president doesn't really have the power.
I think to a certain extent.
Okay, so does the president have the power to clean the swamp or not?
Not like that.
Okay,
not like bring the cops in, clean the building. Okay. Not like a sweep of a drug house. Not like that.
So then let's go on your assumption that that's true. The president does not have the power to clean the swamp. So then why do you think for voting for one or the other will clean the swamp?
No, well, I don't think that I think the voting is rigged. I mean, how can Biden?
You can't have it both ways. No. Either you believe Trump can clean the swamp or you believe he can't clean the swamp. It's one or the other.
I think that he has to be careful because of all the people that, jump.
Okay, so we got to play the political game.
He has to play it safe, I think.
Yeah.
I think he tried.
Okay, tag. Trump, Biden, and you do a write-in. I think we should go all vote for John Galt. I think that's a fabulous idea.
But John Galt is nobody that will come in and save the planet.
But we've already determined it didn't matter. Okay, I get your point. They cheated last year, but they're going to be honest this year.
No, they're not going to be honest this year.
So what does it matter?
I don't think that the voting works. I don't think that you going and putting your little Sharpie on a piece of paper and handing it in is gonna. I don't think that part works.
I don't think me writing John Galt on my ballot is going to be any less effective than writing Donald Trump or Joe Smith or
whoever.
I would
so
just
then
love to
don't
see.
Even take the time to go.
Well, except by me writing John Galt, it's my way of protesting.
It's your way of, yes. It's your way of
still participating in the system, but being able to protest. Because how cool would it be if right here in Kansas they could go, "Whoa, it was interesting. We got 2,000 votes for a guy named John Galt," and then they go, "Who's John Galt?
Who's John Galt?"
Tell me that wouldn't be cool.
That would be funny.
Yeah. If we got Ted Nugent, we would at least have some awesome guitar music and sweet hunting videos. Yeah, no doubt, huh? You can starve them from the inside, maybe. Well, maybe. If I get an opportunity to, I would certainly be interested in that. Once I realized that it's all WWE wrestling entertainment, much like the movie Harrison Bergeron, it all makes sense. Their role for you as a dog catcher, probably. I witnessed that laugh out loud. I can't wait for the commissioners meeting. That's right. And you were there. They said get involved, right? That's absolutely right. We have to think about what kind of world we are leaving for Willie Nelson and Keith Richards. Yeah, I think so, because they're going to outlive all of us, aren't they? Oh, my goodness. Yeah, guys, again, well, we can talk face-to-face next time we meet. Leather, I'm in. But I totally respect your opinion. But I'm telling you, I don't see how any of that matters. I just don't. I don't know. I would love to hear an argument that could convince me that Joe Biden was the most popular president in the history of the United States.
He got the most votes.
I want to hear an argument that could get me to believe that.
You want to argue with somebody?
No, I don't want to argue. I want someone to give me some credible information that tells me how that happened. Because it just makes so no sense to me that I think it's organized crime. And in 2020 election, 129% of registered voters voted. This is what I'm talking about. And we think we could go make a difference? Let's go see if we can get on the news where they say 2,000 people voted for John Galt. Wait, who's John Galt? Like that would be
fun.
Dude, you'd make my whole year. You know how many people would be laughing behind the scenes? Oh my gosh.
In every blink.
Oh my gosh, that would be. They are selections, not elections. Super well said.
Yeah.
$400 billion in money laundered into the officials' pockets. Oh my God, I'm a long ways behind. Look at that. Sorry, guys.
It just keeps flipping pages.
Well, it gets out of control. Oh my God, y'all disregarded. I accidentally pushed send. Okay, well now we got to go back.
Now we got to go look.
All right, voting. I think what would be most effective would be a detective. That's kind of a poet. You didn't even know it. I like that one, Morag. The swamp is much deeper than Trump anticipated. Okay, and I get that, Bonnie, and I'm okay with that statement. But the point is, does the President of the United States have the power to clean the swamp, yes or no? I mean, we can't have it both ways. He either does have the power or he does not have the power.
Well, he didn't.
Okay, so if he doesn't have the power to clean the swamp, why are we getting so worked up who's the president? It's like the Queen of England. Give him a crown, put him on a little cart, wheel him around Times Square, let him wave at everybody. Don't fucking mean nothing.
And then what?
And then he's the Queen of England.
And then he just goes back home.
Well, yeah, you don't have any power. You don't have any power. So the other argument is, yes, he has the power to clean the swamp. Then if he does, why didn't he? I know I'm getting all worked up.
Yeah, I think he
Leather Homestead said no. I'm not sure what no was.
No.
No, probably to me voting
it's
for.
It's a whole sentence.
Yeah.
Complete sentence.
Yeah, no is a complete sentence, Leather. Tag your growing channel and so popular now, you can't get to all the comments. I'm trying, but it's hard. There's a lot of no's, and I really wish what it was no about. I hope it's just no is a complete statement. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, he has to win both houses. Okay, so what you're saying is the only way the president has any power is if he has control of the House and the Senate. So what you're saying is in an election, what we have to do is we have to go out there and get the House and the Senate, or they'll never be able to clean. I mean, I just don't see it.
I don't think that he knew the depths of the swamp.
I
think that, and then two, I think that he was under the understanding that something was the way it was, and it turned out not to be.
I think he probably overestimated what he could get done, and he got there and realized the hurdles to doing it were there, and that he had no real power to clean the swamp. I don't think Trump's a bad guy. I mean, I think he's crude and rude and, those kind of things. And like I said, he's done quite a bit for the country. And I'd much rather have him in than what do you call him? The meat puppet dude.
Yeah.
It was so great when they said
mummified.
The mummified meat puppet. But at the end of the day, us going to the ballot box to elect a president and hope that the next 4 years is going to bring
Something
real
better.
change to our freedoms, I think is a myth.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm totally going to piss somebody off here, but, it's like being a Detroit Lions fan. You can root for them to go to the Super Bowl every year, but it's been a long time,
Really? Come on.
I actually like the Detroit Lions. Yeah, no power to clean the swamp. Right. Then what? What makes us think that we can, I don't think Trump realized exactly how deep the swamp was. Some things he can do and some things he couldn't do. Okay, so so what we're saying here, Yoda, by your own words, is that electing a president can't fix the swamp. This is what you just said.
I think that, I think the swamp is big.
I agree. 100%.
And murky.
And good point, Can Squatch. The Mr. Trump did have both House and the Senate the first 2 years, and the swamp didn't get clean. I actually agree with that. I don't think Trump mischievously didn't clean the swamp. Mm-hmm. I think he don't have the power to do it. I don't think he can do it. So all this hoopla about who we get to elect, I just don't get it. Because at the end, Troy Sutton, I think, hit it right on the head. Corporations control both the House and the White House staff. Yeah. That's correct. 100%. I was always a Trump fan until I learned that this is all a game for them. We are the peons as far as voting. I think it's all planned. So prepare is why we do what we do. I agree.
Smart lady.
There we go. There we go. Yoda. I don't know if it's Yoda or Garen on there, but the people have to clean the swamp. This I agree with. It is time for us to take action, which is why I keep preaching about what have you done outside your own world to spread freedom. What have you done every day? How many commissioner meetings have you attended? How many school board meetings have you attended? Right? Whatever it is, what have we done? Because I no longer have faith in a political solution to the federal problem. Which this is exactly what I'm talking about right here. I think I couldn't have said it any better. We have to start at the local level. We've got to get the right people at the commissioner spots on our local level. And if we can do it in as many places, it will begin to take root. Working the problem from the top down, from the presidency, from the Senate, from the House down isn't going to get us anywhere. It's going to get us right where it's gotten us for all these rest of these years, in my opinion. All right. Leather says, many years of the right type person, it could happen 10 plus years. That problem is you ain't got nobody's going to serve for 10 years. Right? Most are going to get 2 terms. We have to start changing it in our families. We got to start changing in a relationship between a man and a wife. We got to start changing in a relationship between a father and his kids. We got to start changing it at the grassroots level here. We need strong men to stand back up again. We need the queens of our castles to support us and push us to do great things every single day. We're not going to find our solution in the magnified meat puppet. Mummified. In the mummified meat puppet. Nor are we going to find the solutions in the orange man. We have to create those solutions ourselves. I mean it.
Yeah.
I totally mean it. Anyway, I've vented.
Vote with your dollar.
Vote with your dollar is a great one. I've vented plenty.
A lot.
And sorry, man, you guys just get me going sometimes, and then I'm like,
Yeah.
Crazy. Anyway, since I've been venting, before we get out of here, it's 2 hours and 14 minutes in. What do you want to talk about? Got any parting words you want to give to everybody before we go?
I was just say, I thought you
Drink more
talked
milk.
a lot.
I know, that's why I'm giving you a chance.
Yeah, I was gonna say don't give up. You know, I said earlier that I felt like we were going forward and then we were taking steps back. But you know, we cannot spend too much time in our failures because life is 10% what happens to us and 90% how we choose to react to it. And we can sit and wallow and reminisce about the suck, but to get it done, we got to move past that and keep going and don't give up. And I'm hauling water again, but I get to haul them for my own animals, and I get to experience all of it with them. So I encourage all of you to don't give up. Keep going. Keep your mindset in a positive, moving forward. What?
It's mummified, Tag. Mummified. Say it. Mummified. Meat puppet.
To just keep going.
Yeah.
Mummified.
Hey, Troy. Thanks for being here, bud. I appreciate it much. I want to build on what B said just a little bit, but I want to tell you guys a little story if you would indulge me. So I don't know if you guys know the story of Mr. Wrigley, but at one point in time, he was a soap salesman. Did you know this?
Like the chewing gum guy?
Yeah. And as one of his gimmicks, and one of his gimmicks of selling soap, he would give away baking powder. So buy the soap and I'll give you a little bit of baking powder. But what he came to learn through all these experiences is that the baking powder was more popular than the soap. So he started selling baking powder instead of soap. And he thought, I need another thing. So he figured he'd give away some chewing gum with the baking powder. And then he came to realize that the chewing gum was more popular. Wasn't long after that juicy fruit was invented. So the moral of the story is sometimes you just got to get your boots dirty, right? Sometimes you just got to have faith that you can do it. You got to just believe in yourself. You can do it through the trials and the tribulations. And sometimes we go and attack something or head in a particular way, like an automated turkey water, to realize it wasn't a complete solution. But had I not gone through and learned those lessons, I can't get freer. Right? At the end of the day, you're not getting to freedom without failure. Right? Failure is part of freedom because you're learning and you're doing those things all the time.
Yeah.
Right? And so put all of those things into perspective, right? And as B was talking, I could spend a lot of time being pissed off because water didn't get drained out of a pump.
Yep.
But what good does it do me? It doesn't change that there's a broken pump. Right?
No, it doesn't.
Now, I can make her feel guilty and try to, manipulate her into making me desserts and shit. But the fact of the matter, in between my ears, I can't spend a lot of time in there because all of that energy and that energy capital that I spend devoted to the world sucks, the economy's falling, I don't get paid enough, whatever. All of that energy, it just takes away from my mission. And so, just, have a stick of gum and it's going to be okay. You just got to have some faith, right?
Yes.
Does all that make sense?
Yeah.
Did you like my story?
I liked your story.
Did you?
Yeah. I thought you were going to say, don't give away your best stuff.
Yeah. Did you believe my story or did I just make it up?
No, I believe you.
Okay. Not Google it, right?
I believe everything you say.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah. All right, guys. What kind of soap? I don't remember what kind of soap you sold, but that's a really great question, Carrie Davis. Yeah. All right. So what are we supposed to do?
Go live a life free. Go live freer today than you did yesterday.
There you go. What else?
Hold the line. Don't give an inch. Be out.
Tag out. We'll see you, everybody. Thank you guys very, very much. Hang tough.